Howdy, folks.
Hello.
How's it going?
Welcome to our very warm evening here in California.
Just a bit. It's only 106 outside.
Yeah.
It's cool off.
It's cooled off. Yeah, we're down to 106 and it's cooled down.
I tell you.
And today is better than yesterday.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Anyway, so folks, we're going to do a couple things just a little bit differently from a technical standpoint today. Just we got one of these guys right here.
They're
A little
cool.
Elgato Stream Deck. You know, if I push these buttons, I can like completely screw up the show. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you notice the one right here. It says that's sort of backlit right now. It says main. You know, that's the camera view right now. And then there's the one that says cocktail, which is that guy right there. And we'll do that in just a moment. Yeah, it's a cool little device, so I don't have to be reaching for the mouse all the time. Yeah,
So
except for when I'm changing art stuff.
Right.
So, how you guys? Yes, that's correct. They're 64 by 64.
Yep.
It's a Elgato Stream Deck. It's custom USB peripheral designed just for using with OBS and XSplit. So there we go. Oh God, you should have seen what the green looked like last time. Generic. The camera could not endure that much awesome green. So. I mean, it was glow in the dark Gatorade green. It was, oh my God. So.
And so yeah, it's been a toasty weekend. Last weekend was not nearly as bad, but it was pretty toasty when we were at the Crunchyroll Expo, which went very, very well. We'll get to that in a little bit here. I could really use some liquid.
Yeah, and actually, McClaw, it's not macros. It's talking directly by the APIs straight into a plugin that runs inside OBS. So it's more than just a keyboard macro.
Yeah.
So today, we are going to do brain lubricant. That is, we've done it once before. It's called the Paloma, which is sort of the national cocktail of Mexico. No, it's not the margarita, it is the Paloma. It is that, which is a grapefruit, concoction. Grapefruit and tequila and club soda. So,
And quite tasty. And on a hot day like today, it's pretty good. Hey, Tebow, glad you could join us tonight.
So,
And hey, same for you fun, sorry, and good evening, Prow. Admiral Biscuit, why yes, Prow, that does sound familiar. If you have read the MLP fanfic Silver Glow's journal, this is the name of the author. I actually met him at BaronEngel, and he was so happy about the piece of artwork I did for him that he gave me this t-shirt.
All right, let's get started on brain lubricants. I'm going to push the button here that says cocktail.
Camera.
Woo.
Hey,
it worked.
Hey, amazing technology.
All right, so what you got here? You've got your contents: one glass, a couple of big ass ice cubes.
Those are big ass.
Yep. Let's see. We have our Milagro tequila here, which is a pretty good tequila for the price. And I'll just sort of pour that over here. About, I don't know, that much. Yeah, a good shot there.
A couple ounces.
Yep. And we'll set that here. And take your grapefruit juice. I'm not going to fresh squeeze on grapefruits. And then we're going to take that up, about it to there. And then we'll put this here before I spill it. And we'll reach down here and we will grab our fizzy water. And we will top that sucker off. And then apply suction device.
Yes.
And say, there you go.
And we'll
now,
give this a stir.
we have a buddy here. Hello.
Yeah, you guys usually don't see him very often. That's a Cat's Paw, the moderator.
Yep.
But tonight it is just too hot, and I was going to have the moderator down there dying from heat stroke in the lower parts of the bowels of this
We
operation.
need him. We're not done with him yet.
Yeah. So he's up here tonight with us, enjoying the AC, which is really, really, really trying hard to keep us.
Literally chilling with us.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, he might like a little bit of grenadine in his.
Yeah, actually, we'd have that. So, Mr. Dave, would you like grenadine in yours, or do you want to try it straight up?
Or just grapefruit juice.
Grenadine.
Okay.
Okay. Blink. So there. And
Yes, they are big ice cubes.
Yep, well, they last longer that way. There we go.
And yeah, last longer is definitely what we need tonight.
Grenadine.
Yes.
It's so red. And it also tends to glue the bottle shut. Wheat. Isn't that pretty?
Yes.
Is that not pretty? And there, and then suction device. And then pass to your moderator, without whom we could not do what we do. Thank you, Dave.
Yes.
Alrighty, and then I push the button back here. It says main, and does it work? Yes, it
Yes,
did.
it does. Hey,
Hooray.
technology.
God love tech. Alrighty.
Okay.
So I have to reach for the mouse though, because for the slideshow, because you got a bunch of stuff. You have 17 pictures that we get to show.
I was kind of going, gee, you know, I've got a large color commission that we didn't get a chance to get it scanned and finished up. And actually, I forgot to put 2 black and white commissions in the slideshow, so we'll have to show them next time. But yeah, I've been
for next time. Yeah,
I've been a bit busy. It's kind of, you'll be working during the course of the week, and you don't really realize how much work you've done until you stare at the stack of paper and go, oh, I've been drawing.
Indeed. All right, so let's start off with, you hit a milestone.
Yes, I did. 800 on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I want to thank everybody who's now a follower of me on Twitter, because we got from 800, from 700 faster than we got from 700 to 600. It's just basically been ramping up. And of course, Bettina thinks that the perfect person for celebrating milestones now is to get Fluttershy involved.
She's a bad influence.
I don't know if Fluttershy thinks it's a great idea, but Fluttershy is getting brought along.
Indeed. So we're just going to go ahead and go through. You see, okay, this is called a mare's leg. And mare's leg was the nickname for basically a sawed-off Winchester from, I think it was, what was it, Have Gun Will Travel?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, a Western from the early 60s. Yeah, so...
yeah, and this, on the last stream, I had one picture up of Apple Bloom. It was this one dream one night I had where, and before we actually never got going to where we were supposed to that evening, I showed up in this area. It's called the staging area. It's kind of like the thing out of the Matrix where, you know, you can practice, play around, and pick up equipment. And the only people who ever show up are myself and Bettina. And I showed up, and Bettina was like watching this movie on this screen. And I sat down next to her, and it was this kind of, you know, interesting, like Pacific Rim, MLP, you know, Avengers type thing, where this portal had opened up to this other world and things were coming through into Anthro-Equestria, and magic got goofy. And one of the things that happened was Granny Smith was in the Ponyville General Hospital getting some cartilage treatment, and the rejuvenation spell, which was just to fix the cartilage in her knee, kind of went haywire. And when all the special effects kind of died down, we had about a 29-year-old Granny again.
Well, that's just awful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And so it ended up being Granny and Zakura living at Sweet Apple Acres, because all the rest of the family had gone off to basically kind of fight the war.
All right. Okay, I think we've seen this character before, an asymmetric character.
Oh, yes. Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, probably one of the most influential games of the late 90s as far as the RPG games out of Japan went. And I drew that at the Crunchyroll Expo, and, you know, did that at our table. And it caused a lot of buzz and everything like that, so I'm kind of, you know, happy about the feedback I got from it.
Very nice. Now, here we have a young lady named Amanda.
Yes, this is from the anime series Little Witch Academia, which at the moment is my favorite anime series. Once again, another one I sketched up at the convention, so I had something at my table, because you realize I'd kind of come right back from BaronEngel, so I had lots and lots and lots of pony art, but I didn't have a whole lot of anime art for the table, so I was actually creating work at the table throughout the weekend.
Very nice. Now, getting back to this, this is kind of cool. This is this reminds me out of the scene at the very end of Dr. Strangelove. Or I learned how I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb.
Or if you'd seen a particular, I know because Clear Sky showed me a video when I was back at BaronEngel for League of Legends when they kind of did the introduction of Jinx. They had a video kind of like this. Also, it looks like an awful lot of nose art from World War II. And probably almost every Judas Priest album cover from the early 80s.
Well, the thing is, the backstory on this is that these are magical guided munitions, but they don't. But they're not. The guidance is not working as intended. So they need somebody to write it down to just before impact, and then bail at the last second.
Yep, and that Dash got the job. Her and some Wonderbolts, but that was Captain Dash. And since this was going to be a once-in-a-lifetime history-making event, despite the fact that it was against regulations, she wore her show uniform. She was very, very bummed, though. She couldn't have her lightning and smoke generator on because it screwed up with the electronics.
Yeah, we'll just file this one under yeehaw.
Yeah. Well, as one person put, it seems like in this particular dream there was Crazy, Damn Crazy, and Rainbow Dash.
Indeed. All right, so it looks like Sweetie Belle's gotten a slightly expanded role.
Yes, she's the third member of Scootaloo's band called Flying Fingers, and that's Scootaloo's stage name. And they're kind of working. This all started up in this kind of undercover thing that blows open into a full-fledged war. And Flying Fingers was one of Celestia's kind of go out and track down problems and try to kind of quietly bring them under control. It was actually a subsidiary of Bonbons, or Secret Agent Sweet Drops organization.
Yeah, was it one of the deep undercover groups there? Hopefully not the same organization that's Phoenix and some of those other insane. Maybe yes, maybe no. But speaking of insane.
Yeah, I'm not usually a big one for the Pinkamena thing, but my subconscious for this case dug up at least a reason for it, and that is that, when the main portal opens, one of the ponies that gets snagged right away by the basically invaders is Pinky. They get her back in about a day or so, but by the time they get her back and the damage has been done, our ponies, she's perfectly fine. But nowadays, she can sense the presence of shadows. And whenever that happens, she kind of goes into this transformation and suddenly goes off in psycho-killing mode. And this is actually getting to be a problem because she's in some cases disrupting operations that Celestia is trying to put together to take out the enemy. So Lyra and Bonbon basically get assigned with trying to bring her back. And part of the dream actually involved them having to track her around and basically following the carnage caused by Pinky, because she kind of goes into total berserker mode.
Yeah. Answer to your question, Prowl, is over 9,000. All right. So hey, it's not just it's not just the main six and CMC. That we have dubsteps and what's this one? Dubsteps and double taps.
Yep, that's vinyl scratch.
Yeah, double tap, just for people who know, it's a handgun exercise where 2 shots per customer. Boom, boom.
Yeah. Try almost do them as like one continuous.
Right. Yeah, say 2 per customer because 1's never enough.
And it was kind of fun in the dream because my subconscious was playing around with all kinds of things. Well, if you have levitation and telekinesis, you can do all kinds of things like keep putting down suppressor fire while you levitate, if you practiced enough, a new magazine into your carbine. So you can do your transitions back and forth that way. Yeah,
and again, as a DJ used to, synchronizing multiple decks and, that kind of thing, she would take to it as a natural. And of course, the princesses have to get involved here.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, Luna has to have a bigger gun than anybody else. It's all about size with her.
Yes, this is towards the very end, right along with Rainbow Dash coming in and breaking the wards around the portal. Celestia and Luna basically kind of delivered the coup de grace, and Luna's job was to kind of keep the area clear around in front of Celestia of enemies until Celestia was ready to basically activate the Sun Spirit. I am going to do a picture of Celestia, and the Sun Spirit is kind of an interesting piece of equipment. I'm not going to spoil what it does, but she can only use it under some circumstances. They're relatively close to Philadelphia when they do this, and she has to put all these constraints in place, or else a lot of the countryside is going to get ruined. Oh, by the way, just so you know, any of these pictures you're seeing of this kind of Pacific Rim MLP Anthro. These are all gone up for sale at the Smudge Marks and Engel Works eShop. They went up yesterday.
Indeedy. Yeah. By the way, the AK was not the base cannon. That was percussion, or in this case, repercussion.
Yeah. No, Luna's already sold. Just so people know, if you show up to the website, Luna's gone. That got bought right away.
Indeed.
No, they're not 30 millimeters. They're 20 millimeters. Yep. M61s. And of course, when something as big as an invading army from another reality comes pouring into your world, it doesn't just end up being ponies that get caught up in the middle of this. The Griffins got caught up in this, the Dragons got caught up in this, and so for a while there was a certain amount of, I don't really like you, I like him even less, so, there was kind of these truces that were kind of put into play, and so you ended up with, Griffins working with ponies and ponies working with dragons.
Yeah, say, how does one manually hold a gun like that? Be a princess. Okay, yeah, and here we go. Griffin's got to get on it, but you know what? Not to be outdone.
Yes, well, dragons discovered, hey, Equestria gave them some technology to help them fight the war, and yeah, it's great. I can breathe fire. I can breathe fire about 100 yards. My opponent can shoot further than that. I can sit back at 3,500 meters and pump 35 millimeter high explosives into them first, and then go and attack.
Exactly. And the goggles supposedly are they're magical goggles that are linked to the gun so that the dragon can see exactly where the crosshairs are.
Yeah, basically where the muzzles point.
Pony tech.
Yeah.
And pony tech that the ponies can turn off just because you don't want to leave those in the hands of the dragons after you're gone.
Yeah.
So Scootaloo needs to get in on the act.
Yep. Yeah, that's Scootaloo. And she was kind of the close-in combat member of the team.
Yeah, that's the fully auto, the burst fire Glock, right?
Yeah, that's the Glock 18C.
That's one that the Swiss Guard, the Pope's Guard uses.
Yes, it is. And in fact, if you go
underneath those little funny, puffy,
yeah.
16th century uniforms, is bulletproof vests and 2 of those.
Yep. And it was kind of interesting because by the time I did this sketch and had this dream, the firearms blog actually put up a very good mini documentary video about that weapon, including the fact that one of them went to the Glock training center and basically got a chance to, the last day, get familiarity on the Glock 18. And if you know what you're doing, you can actually shoot it one-handed, which was kind of surprising.
Good eye, Dusty, good eye. Yeah, so let's see. Of course, how do you get good with it? Practice. The creepiest of the Wonderbolts.
Yes.
Yeah, DWK's got that one exactly right. Yeah.
There's something about her, I just get this creepy vibe.
Yeah.
And she was kind of creepy, but then again, they were doing some kind of, crazy stuff to try and keep up with the invasion. The Wonderbolts were losing people pretty fast. So this particular scene involves her talking to Cadet Rumble. And the whip she's carrying is actually a weapon that she's taken from someone who came over from the realm of shadows.
And the whip is hungry.
Yes, the whip is hungry. It's named Hunger, yes. Yeah. And it actually is alive, and it kind of moves, and she pets it and everything like that, and it seems to work with her, and that's kind of another thing of, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go afoul of discipline in that unit.
Yeah. Practice.
Yeah. You go the other way. This
Octavia.
is Octavia.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was basically one of the support gunners for this particular assault right before the big battle actually happened, that ended up being one of these cases of, despite the best efforts of Intel, sometimes Intel doesn't get certain things right, and the op didn't go quite as smoothly as they would have liked. She's carrying basically a Russian PKM, general purpose machine gun, and that ammo pack she's wearing is actually a real thing. It's called a Predator pack. Gee, I wonder why. And you can carry between 500 and 750 rounds of belted ammo in that.
Yeah, a little bit of trivia. Predator, there were 3 big-time wrestler, big-time movie star types, Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. 2 out of the 3 went on to become governors.
Yep.
Okay, Carl Weathers, it's your turn to step up. Okay, getting towards the end here. We're almost there, 3 more to go. First one is the Shiny Chariot, also from
Little Witch Academia. Yeah. One of the characters, who inspires the main protagonist, Akko, to basically pursue forward her career in magic. I will say this much. I had to do some work on that outfit to actually even make this look remotely plausible, because that outfit's held together with magic.
Yeah, magic and good intentions.
Yes.
All right, and another one, Susie.
Yes, Susie. Susie is probably myself, and I think Cat's Paw, I think Susie's one of his Susie's, one of our favorite characters from the series.
Saucy Susie.
Yeah, she really likes mushrooms. Fun guy. She really kind of talks like that.
She and Maud would get along.
Yeah, she would. Her and Deathcap, I think, would get along just fine.
right. And now the very last one of the slideshow. Then we'll make some new art.
Yeah.
Bam!
And
Holy cow!
Holy cow! Yes. Now, I posted some pictures of this character. Her name's Charlotte Meadows, and she just had shown up as still photos that I would see Patina looking at on the monitor screen in the staging area before we'd go into a dream. And at one point, I asked her, "Well, what's with her?" She says, "Well, she'll show up." Well, she showed up in this particular dream, and because most of the stallions and a lot of the younger but grown-up mares go off to fight the war. Ponyville's kind of left on its own. The army's kind of busy, but they're close to Everfree Forest, and there was a temporary gate that opened up, and there's some stuff that's been boiling out of the Everfree that's kind of bad. So Ponyville's been kind of stuck with setting up their own defense, which Granny's been helping with. And at one point, Charlotte just came walking over with this Browning M2 Ma Deuce, and with the story being that her pa wanted in some kind of bet. Was going to do something with it, but never got around to doing anything with it. And Charlotte thought maybe Ponyville could do something with it. Yeah. So they did. They put it actually on the top of the town hall because there's good arc of fire across the town.
Strong heifer is strong.
Very strong.
Da. Yeah. Smart like horse. Strong like tractor.
Yeah, you consider a Ma Deuce in that configuration just right there is 84 pounds minus the belts of ammo, and the belts of ammo probably add another 20 pounds to the weight. Yeah, she can carry her weight.
Yeah, and somebody else's too. Mm-hmm. All right, so that
slideshow over.
Pew. There
okay.
We go.
So, what I'm going to be working on tonight is, and I think I've got some people here in the stream that might be folks from the Crunchyroll Expo. Is when I was there, some people were looking at some of my original color pencil artwork, and they were very, very like, how are you even doing this? How's this coming along? How are you pulling this off?
How do you? I don't even.
Yeah. So I decided I haven't done a color pencil demo for a while, so I'm going to do one tonight. And I also decided instead of having something pre-set up, I'd ask you guys, what would you like to have done? I was going to do a Starlight Glimmer. And I asked you guys whether you wanted an anthro, whether you wanted Equestria Girls, or whether you wanted a show style. And at least on Twitter and DeviantArt, adding everything up on the responses, it's leaning towards show style. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is basically one of, does it mean using Gamsol? Yes, it does.
Indeed. All right, so let's go ahead and switch over. Mm-hmm. And then so while that's happening.
Mm-hmm. We should also probably do our hourly.
Oh yes, we will do that. Yes. Yeah, we do. So we do need to let you know that we do have some good support here. Let's see if I go over to
change glasses to my
very good
desk glasses.
Let's see, and if I go to here, and we want to say thank you to University Art. University Art is sponsoring Baron, providing him with all the art supplies that he needs. They are a high-end art supply, art instruction, and framing store that has offices in Redwood City and San Jose and Sacramento, California. They do museum quality work. Again, I won't trust my framing anywhere else. It's fantastic stuff. They have handled original Rembrandts, Picassos, original Nobel Prizes.
I handled Albert Dürer.
Albert Dürer, yes. So again, if you are serious about your art or serious about getting your brand new BaronEngel commission properly framed so it will last 100 years without changing colors, go see University Art. Thanks, guys, for supporting Baron.
And yes, Rainbow, I was at the You Create Day this June. Had a wonderful time. Did you happen by chance to stop by the table? Because if you did, thank you very much. Had a great time, and hope to come back next year and do the same thing again.
Alrighty.
Okay.
This down here and this down here.
All right, so we're going to go over here. Boop, boop. And, it's been really, really hot here the last few days. Oh, by the way, just so folks know, we're trying a different setup with the microphone for me tonight, and let's see if that might help some with the sound and everything. I've been clipping the mic on.
Audio is hard.
Yeah.
You say Larsus is a warlock. He
makes it look so easy.
He's a witch. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to move over here and move mice around here and here because that's the kind of guy I am. All right.
And one of the things that I'm doing that's a little bit different is that, like I say, I don't have something pre-laid out. So my goal for this evening is, if I can do it, is actually to start a piece and finish it live on the air. And that's going to be kind of a trick. So I'm going to be working kind of fast here tonight, folks. If you have any questions about the technique, let me know. Please be patient with me if I can't automatically, I don't notice right away in the chat, because my head's going to be down a bit more working tonight on this.
Yeah, so so that means you guys are going to have to step up and ask questions and talk about things.
And that means that Catspaw and Carrot One, if you guys see anything, looks like,
we will sing out.
Please sing it out.
Indeed.
So what I'm just doing here is I'm very quickly setting in where, basic skeleton, where rib cage is going to be, spine, stuff like that. I'm working very light, folks, so it'll be kind of hard to see what I'm doing at first. This will start tightening up pretty quick.
Yeah. And right now, I've got the camera set up. It's pretty close on the color. It's a little bit undersaturated so that Baron's hands don't look like he's, boiled them in acid or something like that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I actually got an email from somebody a while ago, from someone who was watching the videos on YouTube, and they apparently sold skincare products, and they were saying, "Oh, I'm noticing it looks like you suffer from this and this, and we offer this. Would you like me to send some trial samples?" I said, "No, that's just how we have to set up the camera." Thank you, no. Also, I don't think any of them are in the.
I suffer from satiritis.
Yeah.
So I'm looking on the list. I actually see some folks that I haven't seen before. Speaking of folks looking in it, Armor Wing, are you new here? If so,
welcome.
If not, welcome back. Who else may be new here? Going on the list. Is that Green Tark or Green Tank? Yeah, the Green Tark 46. Welcome, welcome. Who else do we have here?
I think Fox 01 is new tonight.
Yeah.
Or if it's been a while and they haven't been back, and so welcome back.
Yep.
If it's new, hello. Izzy is new.
Yeah. So very good. Yeah. Anybody else here is new? Say hi. We'll say hi right back, because that's the kind of people we are.
We're friendly.
We don't we don't bite, just nibble. And yeah. Yeah. Funds is still new. It's only the 48th time. Geez, how many of these shows have been?
Oh God.
Yeah, it's probably about 60 or 70 now.
Yeah. We should actually go back and try again.
2 years and change.
Yeah.
And every 2 weeks with some special shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, hello, Pucanator. Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. At some point, because we're gonna hit 100 at some point.
And Rainbow 10101 is also new. So, hello, Rainbow 10101. Let's see. That would be 3. It would be 1 plus 4 plus 16. Rainbow 21 in binary. Yeah. I'm a nerd. So anyway, yeah, looks like I have to adjust the camera positions slightly, so I will do that. I will go, not that one, go away. I will go over to here, and I will click on the camera that says drawing cam, and I will say, configure video.
Around your side.
Let's see if we have any range of adjustments if I want the, there we go.
As much as I'm tempted, but I've not drawn Glim Glam that often. I'm not going to go for a wet mane Glim Glam. So she hasn't gotten completely splashed yet. Give Pinky a few minutes on that one.
So let's see here. What else we got? What else we got? Configure video. Needs to go just a little further up.
Okay.
There. All right.
There.
Gotta love being able to not have to reach over and.
Hey, Party Wagon, are you new?
Yeah.
If you are, welcome to the show.
It's only a matter of time before Baron gets his own online art show. Well, actually, he's kind of had one for 2 years. Welcome to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, actually, in addition to being able to see the most recent dozen or so episodes, by looking at the videos tab underneath the main video window here on Picardo, you can also go to Baron and Smudge's YouTube, where Smudge takes the shows, trims off the intro, because the intro is always the same one.
And trims off the intermissions.
Right, and uploads them. Mr. David, would you be so kind as to track down the link to
Smudge Marks
YouTube channel.
Engleworks YouTube.
Hello, Cretius.
Hey, Cretius.
Welcome back. Cretius is made of spiders.
Yes, Cretius is made of spiders. Cretius is also going to be going to EQLA, where she's working on all kinds of cool badges and things like that to sell. She's going to have a table.
Indeedy.
Most excellent.
Yeah, so I think I'll be able to make it to EQLA. I would like to do that.
I'd like to go down too, but I don't think my schedule and budget's going to allow for it.
Yeah. Well, say if I go, again, I'll drive, and
Okay.
so it'll be a free drive down, free drive back, and say we'll throw you on a couch or something.
Okay. Have you gotten new tires?
Not yet.
I,
my God!
I will go down with you once you have new threads, or when you have big
I have
black
new threads.
bands.
You can see them.
Yeah, new black bands that don't have threads showing.
Yeah. How's everyone? Roasty toasty, Cretius. It was hotter than up here.
Yeah. Yeah, we're breaking records left and right. San Francisco showered its all-time high yesterday by about 8 degrees.
Oh, and could you also get the YouTube channel as well for the old videos?
Thank you very much.
Eating a mangonada.
See, this is one of the things, folks, that I say this before, but I want to say it again. I get to sit here and draw and be all kinds of congenial with you folks, but behind me there's a couple people here who are making an awful lot of things happen, and then when these streams are over with, my wife goes through and makes this all happen. So, there's a lot of people behind me who make this happen, and I like to take a moment every time to say thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, probably. I'm just leaving it blank so people can see more of it. Yeah, so as far as the overlay is concerned. We'll put it on later.
Yeah. Hey, I remember to look the right direction this time. The arrow is helping.
Yeah. Helping.
Helping.
Go to the freezer, get the box.
Yeah. I've got, here on my desk, I've got a thing that says, look that way to the camera, because I got so used to the camera being over there for the longest time.
Yep.
Habit.
Hey, Novan. Welcome to the welcome to the show. And yes, that is indeed the cover of ASB #1.
Mm-hmm.
And Baron did issues 1, 6, and 8. Which I
Glad you could join us tonight. Tonight I'm going to be doing a color pencil demo. Right now I'm just actually quickly sketching in the picture that we're going to be doing, which is...
Cretius is offering a share on the table. Says, Baron, I don't need my whole table if you want to share.
Okay, well, let me think about that.
Tempt, yeah.
Yeah, well,
we're just like stacking it against you, I'm telling you.
I'll have to talk to my wife about this, the second member of my business. See, I have to be honest with her because she edits these videos, so she's going to probably see this part. So.
Well, quick, delete it. Oh, go off air.
Quick, delete scene.
Oh, no, don't watch.
EMP pulse, EMP pulse.
Smile,
All right.
you are on candid camera. Yeah, and for folks who are new here, something we do, we take a break every hour on the half hour, so 6:30, 7:30, 8:30 for 5 minutes, so that people will be able to have an intermission and go be biological and restock their drinks.
And get back and stretch.
Yes, please do your stretches.
Yeah, I'm a recovering back patient. If you have not ruined your back yet.
You're on the YouTube video there. There you go.
I was gonna say, that sounds familiar.
So it's all good. It's good music.
Like, wait a minute.
As I want to have another beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there.
Yeah, EQLA, every one I've ever been to, they don't do them every year. But I've been to like 3 out of the 4 that they've run, and they've always been top notch. So.
Yes, and they're lots of fun if Larson shows up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, actually that's something interesting. Speaking about Larson, because we're not embargoed on episode 14 anymore. Yeah, that was the episode, the recent episode in which Twilight. Spoiler alert! Cover your ears if you don't want to be spoiled. Twilight published their friendship journal that they'd been keeping all their friendship lessons in, and everybody started focusing on your characters aren't relatable, and Twilight, you were better before you had wings. Emily Larson wrote that one.
Yes.
But apparently, and it came across, it was pretty pointed stuff, but apparently Mitch actually wanted to tone that down a little bit, because some of the observations were pretty sharp,
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, let's be a little more gentle. And apparently he got word from the higher ups, like, no, don't hold back.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Alrighty.
And so we got what we got.
Yeah, I find it interesting that Lauren has similar thing during the early, season 1 where she was told, like, on the Manticore, can you make the Manticore more scary? Which is like, okay, that's a first. Usually I'm being told, don't make it so scary.
Yeah. Creatious, yeah. A Sulgapugid, I think it is, or something like that. Yes. A whiptail scorpion. Yeah. It was a part of the clue was that it bit, didn't sting. Scorpions don't bite, they sting. Yeah. And little pinch. Little pinch.
A pinch.
Pinch, 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 pinch.
I pinch you.
Yeah. Hasbro wanted that episode to to basically make sort of make a point.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, calm down a little bit. Don't be Mr. Don't everybody be Mr. Demandy Pants.
Yeah, and more importantly, you're not the target market.
Yeah. Well, it's worth noting that in that episode, the people who are arguing, why doesn't Fluttershy learn her lesson? All that stuff there. They were all adults.
Mm-hmm.
The young ones, the fillies, Coconut Cream and Tula Rula, which, by the way, are Generation 1 ponies. This is what trademark renewal looks like, folks. Were the ones that got it. That they actually read the lessons and learned from them, and they represent the age of the real demographic of the show. So the kids got it. It was the adults that were being Mr. Demandy Pants. So a very subtle background thing there. But that was Mitch's last episode on the show. He is off doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
We do have some of the voice actors on the show are now writers for Disney.
Yes.
Trevor Duvall, Fancy Pants, is now a writer on Avengers, and he is over at working for the Marvel division of Disney, and he has nothing but good things to say about how everything's turning out.
Sounds like Amy's having fun as being a Imagineer.
Well, Amy is no longer at Disney.
Oh, she isn't? She
got laid off.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now I sound like a clod.
Yeah, well, she had fun while it was there, but, Hollywood is a gig economy, long gigs, 2, 3, 4 years.
Uh-huh.
But, these things, go back and forth.
Okay. Yeah. Almost got everything in place, and we're going to move on to stage 2, which is I'm playing kind of fast and loose. I'm laying this out. Usually if I was doing this at home in the studio, I might be a little bit tighter on my drawings. But the clock is ticking. So I'm...
Indeedly doodly. Yeah, let's see, another quick check through, see if anybody else has recently... Oh, by the way, Clear Skies is here. Clear Skies wrote the Roan role-playing game that Baron did the cover art for and much of the interior, and that... Cat's Paw did all the
layout,
layout and pre-press and all that other good stuff. And so, hello to Clear Skies. If you have Roan questions, pester the hell out of him.
He loves it.
Yeah,
he loves his game. He loves talking about Roan. Yeah, Cat's Paw here did the layout, and the layout is one of those things that quite often doesn't get enough appreciation. You don't appreciate good layout until you see bad layout.
Yeah. There we go.
All right, there we go.
RPG
That's in
pin,
place.
yes.
That's good.
Very strong logo, for the Roan RPG.
Yeah, that was Nate Dogg 5K who did that. Also, it's the same logo that Robert used to create the wonderful Roan RPG logo pins.
Yeah, that's I was just showing that one off.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to throw it in front of the camera there.
All right, yes we can. Very nice.
Well, actually, that's a black silhouette. Just let me put it on top of Starlight for a second.
There we go. How's that better there?
Yeah.
Can we see it good?
Yeah. This is why you pay somebody good bucks for a good, strong logo. Because, because stuff like that it's got such a great identity.
Yeah.
If you ever see anything vaguely shaped like that again, you'll know right away. This is Roan.
Yeah. Beautiful design on it. And like I say, Clear Skies still has some of these pens available. And Clear Skies, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Are you still doing the thing where a certain percentage of the purchases are going to the 160th at Fort Campbell in Kentucky? Because I know you did that for BaronEngel, where a certain amount of the purchase went towards the, and that was a really kind of a great thing you did.
Yep. Oh, Funds has a question. Do you ever thought of participating in those 30-minute art challenges?
30-minute art challenges. Here, we'll pass that back.
Yeah,
to you.
there's like Tumblr groups and stuff
Oh.
like that. That's they say 30-minute art challenge. The theme is blah, go, and then post it.
Oh yes, I've done those. I have done those. They're fun. They're a lot of fun. But I haven't done one in a while, actually. Maybe I should change that in the fall. Okay, now one thing I'm going to do here really quick is my color pencil technique is a combination of color pencil and marker pen and some technical pen here. So I'm going to go in really quickly here and just set some stuff up that I know I'm going to want to have as black, and that's going to be like, Glim Glam's pupils and her eyelashes. Because it's easier to do that now than it is to do that later.
Yep. Send your dollars to Clear Skies. Get yourself a pin. A couple of bucks goes off to Fort Campbell there. Yeah. See, these are again, these are really high quality pins.
Yep.
They will last as long as you will.
Yep. And I also just want to take a moment here actually to do a thing I do every stream, and that is I want to thank all my patrons on Patreon.
Make myself a Paloma.
In 2015, I was able to quit my day job and pursue a dream that I was starting to think I never was going to be able to do, which was to basically be a full-time professional artist. I thought that was going to be a dream that was going to slip through my fingers. But through the support of my patrons, that has become a reality. To anyone who's new to this stream, this is what I do for a living. I don't have a day job. I don't go work in an office or...
Baron is at work right now.
Yeah, this is me part of collecting my paycheck. This is part of my obligation to my patrons. And for as little as $1 a month, you can have you can actually have an effect. You can have an impact. Now, a lot of people might think, well, geez, what can $1 a month do for you? Well, if everybody on DeviantArt gave me $1, trust me, I would be doing great. I mean, I wouldn't have to take commissions. I probably still would, but I wouldn't have to take commissions. I could spend all my time doing nothing but Dreamscape stuff.
And Patreon work.
And Patreon work, yes.
There we go.
Lots and lots of Patreon work. But I know a lot of people that go to my Patreon for my Dreamscape, and I could be doing that 24/7.
Nom, nom, nom. Yeah, this does benefit from a little bit of grenadine. A little bit puckery.
Yeah, usually I'm like a little bit of grenadine in mine, but I think tonight because of I'm just kind of dehydrated.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm going to set that up. All right. Got some basic lines in place. Let's just clean this out a little bit more. We're going to move on to stage 2.
Yeah, that helps.
Now what I got here, these are Tombow brush pens. And I really kind of love these things. They're great because they have a brush tip on one end, which I like a lot. They have a fine tip on the other end. They draw ink from a single reservoir, so it's the same color coming out both ends. And they're water-based, so they don't react to any of the solvents I work with in my color pencil work. And let's see, I think I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do is for Glim Glam's mane and tail, we're going to go in and do some brush. I'm not going to do anything for her body. Her body's going to be too light. When I pick a marker for something like this, I always try to choose one that's like 10% lighter than the lightest color pencil I'm going to be putting in that area. That way I can use my color pencil to hide any marker streaks. Or, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the marker lines to actually kind of hint at the direction that her mane's going. So we're going to go in. So her mane's going in this direction right here. So we're going to
the streamer to raise the volume a smidge. Well, let's see. Actually, yeah, I can do that. I can reach over here.
We can do a smidge?
Yeah, to the encoder thing, and there's a little slider right here, and I can move it about over here. We go.
And how's that? Is that any better?
And I can also slide these little sliders over here up a bit, because we have this thing right here that has my bite comb on it there. See? Yeah, see? Slidey, slidey, slidey.
We'll do it as a slightly different color over there, too.
There we go. All right. Need to catch up with season 7.
Okay.
The entire 7th season. Bravo. You got some good stuff coming to you.
Yes, you do.
You do. So, heartily recommend it.
And how's that, Rainbow? Is that any better? Marginally, yes, marginally better.
Marginally better. Yeah, we just want to make sure that we don't get into any kind of clipping or blow anybody's eardrums out or anything silly like that.
Yeah.
We like your eardrums. We want them to be intact.
It is a balancing act.
Yep. Yeah, I say Larsus does this kind of things for a living. He does live sound. And one of these days we're going to kidnap him and say, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah. We'll buy you drinks until you tell us how to fix it.
We'll give you brain lubricant.
Yes.
Is Triple Threat worth enduring the secondhand embarrassment? Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, it's one of those things that it's not really aimed at shaming anyone or anything like that. It's just it's the Hasbro production staff, not the DHX staff, or so much the writing staff, but just the Hasbro production staff. Apparently had a little bit of frustration, and it's like, come on, guys, focus on the good. Focus on the good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see, what else we got here? Yeah, generic. Yeah, Terry Pratchett was indeed. I'm a little bit about the way of my own creations as well. So Hasbro has been very generous to let us play in their stable.
Yep. And a lot of that we have to thank the efforts of one individual who convinced them to let them do it, and that's Mike Vogel.
Yeah. Yep. Sylvan, actually, we are very near the maximum encoding volume here. So I think that's just something that's cooked into cooked into it here. Actually, I'm going to try something.
Okay, stand back, folks. He's going to.
I'm going to try something. Let us know here. And yes, Mike Vogel is indeed a great guy. Buy him a drink.
Yeah.
I'm going to. We have a little knob here called compression. We're going to compress.
See what that does.
Right, here we go. So, right there. So I'm going to turn the compression up to medium. Okay, see if I can, I can make the little red light come on. How's that?
All right. How's that sound, folks? We're going to make some noise here for a little bit. Let us know how this sounds. Does it sound any better? Sound any worse?
Blah, 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 blah,
blah. Blah, 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 blah.
And, Nozumi says, speaking of patina. Speak of patina, Nozumi.
Yes.
Speak.
Patina loves to be.
Patina fan art coming up.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she's going to be posting patina fan art during the break. Folks, go look at it.
Yes. Now, what I am looking for. Is that what I'm looking for?
Indeed.
I think that's what I'm looking for. Is that what I can make that work. Now, also one of the things about this marker work I'm doing, this isn't, you may be going, oh, well, wait a minute, now that's not Glim Glam's color. Glim Glam's a little bit different. It doesn't have to be an exact match. I usually kind of choose something that's kind of a underlying tone for it. And I'm just doing this so I can do area fills a little bit faster and I don't have to keep going back over a darker area to try and get it.
Well, I have an equalizer on mine, so
Equalizer, and I'm not afraid to use it.
There we go. That's because I have the base cut.
Now, the one thing you have to watch about using these wire-based markers is that if I go back in this area over here, if I went over this purple, it would actually start reactivating. It's kind of like watercolor, so keep that in mind when you're working with it. You can use alcohol-based markers like, say, Copics or Prismacolors. Those will work too. I just have developed my technique with Tombow brush pens, so I kind of stick with them. Purple, but that's fine. Imperial Violet will fix that problem. And you'll notice, once again, I'm still trying to work in the direction of how her hair would be on her mane and tail. All right, and then down here. And for folks that are new, that noise you're hearing in the background, that's Kieran playing away on the keyboard. Providing a nice little bit of ambient feel to the whole event.
There we go. How do you speak Elvish? Only in Quenya. Quenya, oh Quenya.
All right, let's get some
Where the
here.
elves are. And the firstborn. Forget Sindarin.
All right. Now, one thing I have to be careful tonight, working in the studio with these these Tombow brush pens, is that they are water-based, and I am a bit on the warm side tonight, and my hands are a little bit on the sweaty side. So if I touch, touch old Glim Glam here, I could accidentally lift some of this color off of the working surface. So I have to be a little bit careful about that.
Yeah, Rivercoon would like to know if Tombows play nicely with Gamsol.
They play wonderful Gamsol. They utterly ignore Gamsol, which is why I love working with them.
Yeah.
Okay, now you might notice right there, I had a little bit where I touched up in that area right there, and I pulled down some of that color, and that's okay. We'll be able to hide that in the shadows. All right, what time are we looking at? Okay, coming up on our first break here in a few minutes. It'll be nice. I'll have all the marker work in place and independent drawing laid out. When we come back, I'll start playing with the color pencil. The reason why some of you folks probably tuned in tonight. And we'll start on the background first and put a very, very quick background, and we'll start moving to her. All right. That's all that. Let's put those guys away. We won't be needing these anymore. Okay. I need a little bit more.
Let's see.
Brain lubricant.
Yeah, one of the benefits of going digital is no smudge issues.
Yep.
No, digital, actually there is a smudge issue with digital. The smudge issue is that when your wife keeps bogarting your Wacom tablet.
Yeah.
That's a smudge issue in digital.
Yes, it is. But she is she's trying to help me get better at it.
Oh, you don't apologize for having to eat Korean barbecue Mad Badger.
Yes, the Korean barbecue is not. All right, let's go in here. I want to just do a little more cleanup. I saw in here. I want to erase that out. Now, one thing you also have to be careful if you go in with these Tombow brush pens, and actually any marker, is that they will slightly get the paper a little bit damp, and so when you're erasing around them, be careful because you can sometimes end up with kind of weird-looking smudges. Just so people, not my wife, and just so folks know, the working surface I'm using here is Strathmore 400 series wind power vellum finish. Basically, the important thing is it's the 400 series from Strathmore, which is a very good brand of Bristol. I've worked with it for years now and had very good results. Okay, now we're going to start actually putting in just a very, very quick sky to go along with this. And what I'll do in my color pencils, I'll do my most distant objects first and then come forward in the picture. So in this case, the sky is behind Glim Glam. So we are going to do it first. Yep. And if I need to put down a lot of color really fast, what I like to work with is a thing here called a Prismacolor color stick. And this is basically just a big chunk of the color pencil lead, and it lets me work really, really nice. And so I'm going to put a little bit down, but in 3 minutes we're going to go into our first intermission.
Indeedy.
This will let me get a lot of color down really fast. I'm just going to put kind of a just general vague sky in.
Yes, and this looks really, really rough, but for folks that have not seen Baron's color pencil technique before, when we come back from the break, so he's going to whip out that organic solvent, and you're going to see magic happen.
Odorless solvent, not organic. Well, it's a gum spirit, I guess it might be.
Technically, it's got carbon rings. It's organic.
This is true. Almost everything's organic. Yeah. In that sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I'm just gonna block in some color here really quick around a little bit. Yeah, if you all the color pieces that you saw in the pre-show and in the intro video, that's all been done in my color pencil technique. So
yeah, including that painting, from cover from that from Associated Student Body is #1 in the background.
Yep. So we're just gonna very quickly.
All right. See you later, Cretius.
Oh, Cretius, okay.
Yeah.
You have a great evening. Thanks for dropping by.
Got a little black book with my poems in. Got a bag with a suit. That was a
All right.
toothbrush and a comb in. I'm a good dog. They sometimes throw me a bone in. Imperial March playing. The insult that made an artist.
All right.
There we go.
Okay.
Kicking sand. I'm tired of being a scared. Yeah, say the one that made a man out of Mac.
All right. This is basically the same color, light blue, in pencil form now. And I'm just going to go in here and put some along here.
Charles
All right.
Atlas, yes.
Oh, yes.
And when he beat up the bully, he said the word wham as he punched the bully in the face.
Yes.
Wham. Kind of like Popeye.
All right. Okay, it is 6:30. It is time for us to go make our first intermission here. So, yes. All right.
Oh, I love this so much. Oh.
Okay. All right. Hey, Cyrus, glad you could join us tonight.
Just in time for the break.
We're going to be back in 5 minutes. And like I say, stretch, move around, get yourself some some stuff. And when I come back, we're going to start the first serious color blend here. You can folks see how this all comes together. Because right now, you're probably looking at us going, what the heck? Does this guy actually get paid for doing this? Trust me, there's a method to the madness.
Indeedy. All righty, folks. Grab a drink. See you in 5. I'm going to push this button and get quiet, and then away we go.
Okay.
Yes, I'm enjoying my new toy.
It's so much fun.
He's my stream deck. It's a stream deck. Yeah, you can take a look at my little stream deck. Yeah, there we go. You are. Whoop. You're right here, right there now. Okay.
He likes it.
Yes, I do.
All right.
It's built like a battleship too. It's like 1/8-inch thick aluminum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Feel the heft on that.
Okay, it feels like a mag light.
Yeah, it's designed to survive contact with salty gaming streamers.
Yes. So you press the button and things happen. Yes.
Yeah. Well, essentially what it does is OBS, what you do is you define scenes. And what a scene is okay, there's a camera and there's an overlay and and here's the audio inputs there. And then what this does is you can switch between scenes, or you can turn various sources on or off, or you can mute things. Basically what you do is you predefine views, and then this lets you cycle through them without having to go into the clunky user interface.
Right.
And you push the button.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, again, they have nice little, you can put your own icons here. So like for main, it's a picture of the cocktails, a picture of a margarita.
Yeah.
So.
It's kind of nice. You make your own icons effectively.
McClaw, super easy. There's a management app for it. What you want is 64 by 64 PNGs. It will deal with transparency, and you can define on and off. In other words, which icons, how they light up, when they're live, and all kinds of good stuff there. Elgato Stream Deck.
Yep.
Recommended.
I'm going through the list of people at their Party Wagon. Have we? That sounds like someone.
I think Party Wagon was here earlier, but
yeah. Well, hi Party Wagon.
Yeah. Welcome, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what. Welcome to the stream. And we're about ready to get back to art here, because I know that's what folks are really here for. So.
Wrong button. Crunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I remember the ITV. That was one of the very first video capture boxes for the Mac.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why do we
right.
have that switch? Yes.
So I'm going to push the button over
we can go
here,
back
and
over
it says draw.
And when he does that, I change glasses.
Whee.
And we go back to, and yes, folks, you do have permission to razz me if I forget to change from my regular glasses to my studio glasses, because I can actually draw with them, but I really shouldn't. Okay, and I need to get one more pencil out here because we're getting close to the water.
I'm going to get back over here.
And actually, that's something else I need to do.
My chosen instrument is the keyboard, 101 key and 88 key.
All right, let's grab this.
Hey, yeah, I've just gotten really good there. Yeah, that's the one. That's the best key I'm at. It's called demo. Man, I'm good. I bet you didn't know I was that good.
Well,
I didn't know I was that
there we
good.
go. There's material for the blooper reel. We need to start thinking about our blooper reel.
Need more brain lubricant for that. Yeah. The dissolve actually, McClaw, is the recent versions of OBS. You have scene transitions. You can do smash cuts. You can do fades. You can do dissolves. You can do wipes. This is no substitute for Avid or any of the other high-end live video things. But for what you pay for it,
Free. It works.
Where's your Jordy LaForge shades? Yeah.
All right. I say I work pretty fast and loose here. I'm just getting some color down here.
Yep. Yeah, McClaw, they are. They are digital inserts. They're about $150 or so on Amazon right now, and they are the darling of the Twitch community. So Generic is channeling his inner Toxic Mario. Has a question. Name your favorite villain theme music. Pretty hard to beat Imperial March from Star Wars.
That's a pretty good one. I don't know. I thought Desloc's kind of theme music from Yamato was pretty good.
What do you think, Dave? What's your favorite villain music?
Yes. Also, too, I will say, Don Cornage's from
Tailspin, yeah.
Yes, was when he showed up with the Iron Vulture the first time. Was pretty, not bad.
Yeah, it's hard to say like Lord of the Rings or something like that, because what Howard Shore tended to do when the villains make their splash on the screen is cut the music. Mm-hmm. For impact. He knows the value of a good lacuna. What's a lacuna? It's kind of like a llama, but it's quiet. Yeah, Hunchback of Notre Dame. When Frollo is having having a little trouble with the fire.
An existential crisis.
Yeah, that's good music, giant choir, good visuals. Mm-hmm. Particularly on the big screen, because I like to sit front row center and just sort of lean back. And they have that scene where the giant red cloaks, Inquisition judges all arise from the flames, and it's really saturated red, a deep red. We're talking 12700 here.
Yeah, we're nerds.
For all you graphic geeks there, and with little high contrast visual tricks that Disney does so well, and it's like whoa.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Now we've got ourselves some basic color in here, and like I say, you folks are probably looking at this going, well, that's all kind of nice, but this isn't looking anything like with all this cool stuff I keep watching on the. Putting up on DeviantArt, and I was looking at the Crunchyroll Expo. Well, now we're going to start making some stuff happen. And here you're going to see on me something I've refined over many, many, many years. I discovered by accident one day. Yeah, literally. I was working on a project, and I spilled some paint thinner on my color study. Grabbed the paper towel and frantically tried to clean it up, and then looked underneath the paper towel and said, well, great, that looks now completely different than the rest of the picture. But that's what I was trying to do all along anyways. So I kept doing it. All right. So we're going to be working with and I'm going to go in a little more actually about how you pick out color pencils here throughout the course of the evening. There will be a bit more information. But I want to talk a little bit now about the brushes you're going to be working with. And my mic just fell off. Hang on. Okay, let's hook that back up again. Let's try that again. All right, there we go. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to talk about the brushes here. What you want for a brush when you're working in with this technique is you want something that's soft, but it needs to have enough, body to it that you can actually push and move the pigment around a little bit as you're going. So I usually look at like watercolor brushes, or synthetic mongoose can be very, very good for acrylics. Usually the problem with those is you have to cut the handle short. In fact, you might be noticing this handle here's a little bit on the, that's a shade tree mechanic job I did with a hacksaw, because I don't really care about this end. This is where the magic happens.
That's the business end.
Yeah, exactly. What we're going to be working with for here tonight is my favorite Tostitos brand odorless mineral spirits. Actually, it's not. It's a nice big glass jar that has an easy opening lid so I can get to this stuff. This is odorless mineral spirits. The brand I like working with is called Gamsol. It has the least amount of fumes. Tools that are going to be very, very important for making this all come together are going to be very, very expensive and very hard to get a hold of. You have to travel to the ends of the earth to make sure you can get yourself paper towels and cotton swabs. These are, two of my favorite weapons of choice.
Yep. And the cotton swabs should be the ones with the fiber sticks as opposed to the wooden or the plastic sticks, because that way you don't risk tearing up your surface.
Right, but at the same time, what you want to look for in a cotton swab, believe it or not, is you don't want the really super soft ones, nice, soft, squishy, pillowy ones. You want something that's actually got a little bit of body. Once again, you're going to be working with this stuff.
Yeah. So you want the store brand rather than like Q-tip brand.
Exactly. Actually, cheaper is better in this case. And this is a technique that you'll build up over successive layers. I'm going to probably do 2 fast layers here tonight because I'm going to want to get on the glim glam as quick as possible. All right, so pull off a hunk of paper towel. And I'm going to start by working dark down to light, because it's always easier to pull a dark color into a light color than it is to pull light upwards. So get my flat brush here, nice and saturated. And we're going to start working this. And then we're going to take a paper towel.
But you didn't think there was that much blue in that kind of scratchy stuff, but there it is.
Bam! If I was doing this by traditional burnish techniques or anything, this would take me several hours just to get the sky in. I'm working kind of fast and loose right up the edge of glim glam here.
Webster, I think glim glam was popularized by DWK, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he invented it. Yeah, it does look kind of like gouache. This is, you can do some very gouache and acrylic-like techniques and effects with it.
Yeah, you can.
But without the mess.
Yeah, and the best thing about this is one of the things about gouache that's nice is because it is watercolor, is that if you need to stop, you can just simply put down your brush, walk away, don't worry about your paint. If it dries up, put a little bit of water, you can reactivate it again.
Yeah, Agni, yeah, that's a fan nickname. Not, I don't think it's ever appeared in the show.
No, I don't think so. It just sounds nice.
I think we may see another person who's new to the stream. Iker, A-I-K-E, Iker. Yeah. If so, welcome. If not, then welcome back. See if there's anybody else here that's new. If you're new,
chime in.
Say hi. Say hello. We'll say hello right back. We're that kind of folks.
Yeah, we're a very welcoming community. Sorry if the camera might be bouncing around a little bit right now. I am pushing kind of hard during this initial blend. You'll notice I'm starting to build up pigment, and it will actually get easier to work in some areas because I've got all this.
Oh, hush, Carouse. Hey, you don't know from old. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, now. Getting into an area here where I'm going to get a little bit tighter on my detail. What I'm going to do here first is a little testing right here on the edge. You'll probably be able to see this. I'm going to take a little bit of my color stick, and I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to go around at this point. I'm going to get some solvent. I'm going to do it up here. Now I'm going to take my cotton swab and then kind of run it through this and pick up some pigment. That way when I start blending, I don't lift as much off, because I'm working into some kind of tight areas and I don't want to have to go back through this too many times.
Yeah, that's why he uses a sheet of heavy cold press illustration board as a backing, not only as an art board, but as a palette.
Yeah. Yep. And it has a little bit of give to it when I'm working, so it also works in my favor. Go back to our mark broad again, because now we're out of that area. I can work big. Like I say, time is the clock. Clock is ticking.
Crazy twilight.
That's right. Now, in these cases here, I don't mind if I'm pulling color, this blue, into her mane, because I'm going to hide that all under the color pencil. But I want to be careful around her body, because it's a lighter color, and if I get anything into there, it's going to be a bit more of a trick.
Close enough, Sirius. Close enough. Actually, I'm a grumpy serial killer, and this is all part of my alibi here. It's all part of my screen.
Yeah.
I'm actually a ninja. You're not a ninja? Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
I'm not a ninja.
So Cold Silver wants to know how long does a color piece this size, your 9 by 12, 8.5 by 11, etc., usually take? How many hours?
Well, like I said, I'm flying pretty fast and loose on this one tonight, so in a perfect world, I may finish this before we're done. So there'll be 4 hours. If I can pull that off, I'll be very, very happy with myself. Usually with a background, I'll be a little more detailed to the sky, put some clouds in, maybe some more water effects that I'm going to do on this. So if I'm lucky, I can grind it out in a day, about 8 to 9 hours.
Grind.
Something big like that, like the Roan cover, that was about a week's worth of work. This gentleman's here, ginormous. He just has bankrolled all of his Patreon rewards. That was about a week and a half of work, not to mention all the development pre-work we did to get certain details nailed down before I started on that. There was color studies and everything like that. So on a really big piece, it might take a couple weeks to get something completely finished. I've got a nice color piece. I'm just waiting for one little bit of information back from the client. I'm going to hear them at the first of the week. I can understand why they didn't get back to me. They're dealing with something far more important in their life at the moment. But it's going to be it's a pre-Fallout Equestria piece from the viewpoint of the zebras. I've had some fun working on that picture. Good night, Sylvan.
Yep. Afraid not, Iker. We're going to have to disappoint you there.
Here. If you want to ask a ninja, the answer is always serenity and merciless devotion to the task at hand.
I didn't know Aku was a ninja.
It is not a coincidence that it is I who tells this tale. I'm a wizard, mind you.
Yes. Oh, Mako.
Ninja voice.
Yeah. Oh, God, what a character. He was in a Jackie Chan film, The Big Brawl, one of Jackie Chan's early Western films.
Yes.
Yeah, Western as in, English language and all that, where he played his uncle. And, those two just worked so well together.
All right.
Mr. Ninja, are you okay with the ninja rap? I am a ninja whose name is Lance. I will put a scorpion in your underpants. I will put a spider into your food. I am refined. I don't kill with crude. We'll summon a demon more fierce than all in hell. But I'm not a wizard. I will not kill with a spell. Instead, I will put a chopstick into your eye, and then I will make you slowly suffer and die.
Catchy.
No, it's not. That was pathetic. I broke my meter.
You broke your meter.
I broke my meter.
Well, why'd you stay on the English system? If you were a yard, you would have been fine.
Ie wakarimasu. Kinjiru. Oi. Skete hentai gaijin.
Now, this looks a little bit scratchy in some spots. That's fine. We can go back in. One of the beauties about this is you can build successive layers of color up. If anyone out there in the stream chat or audience has played with color pencil, you'll know that if you try building up areas of solid color, you can start getting a problem where the wax from the color pencil makes it harder and harder to put down more layers of color. Well, with this technique, I'm taking most of the wax off of the surface, and I'm just putting down most of the pigment.
Well, that's the magic. The magic is place the say the pigment where you want it to be with a colored pencil, remove the wax with a Gamasol, and then you can do all your blends and pick up and move and all that.
And just so for folks know, for the primary pencil I'm using tonight is Prismacolor Premieres. Very good line of colors. I'm just using a regular electric pencil sharpener, nothing swanky. Just got it at an office supply store. And really, if I could give one bit of advice about working with this technique is don't think of it as color pencil. Think of it as dry pigment that comes in a little wax container.
Yep.
And think of it as pigment. And once you start thinking of it that way, then you open up your mind to all kinds of possibilities on how to use this stuff. Back to the cotton swamps here. Okay.
Everybody knows you stepped on my toes, then you broke my nose, because everybody knows.
Channel your inner Leonard Cohen. He fell over recently too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was somebody who sang like, he'd been smoking since before his mama was born.
Yeah.
Although his earliest albums, he was actually more of a poet than a musician early on. He actually won the Pulitzer Prize, for poetry back in the 70s, I think. He did not have that, way down deep, voicing at all. That was something he developed as a singing technique later.
Ah. All right. Now I'm also going to take a moment here to do something, because I actually jumped a step here to get into color pencil right away, and I need to step back and fix it. And that is Glimmy standing in the water. And I actually want to block some of that in marker, or else otherwise I'm going to have to spend too much time working on that.
Yep.
So we
need
are
your boundaries. Yes. How quick does Gamasol evaporate? Somewhat. Yes.
Yes, it's fast. In fact, especially in this warm thing, if I'm not going back that routinely, you put the lid on right away, because you can't smell it, but it does produce vapors.
Yep.
And I like my brain cells, and I like my friends to keep their brain cells. So we're
Too late. Yeah. We'll say, well, that and,
we're wasting money.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff ain't cheap.
Yeah. Now, when I get back to the studio, I might put some white gouache work for some foam in the water and everything like that, but I'm going to try and fudge that as much as I can here.
I have to get that one.
I'm just kind of defining. Basically, I'm kind of thinking about this. I'm not trying to create a finished masterpiece here this time. I'm just trying to create almost like a large color study. Just kind of keeping a rough idea where the lighting is going to be. Light's kind of over here. So I'll need to get some darker here, but I got a darker color. I'll go and do that in just a moment.
How about I go to here?
Actually use this right here so I can rest my hands, so I'm not getting any sweat, so I'm not lifting any off. Okay. And you already did the right color. Did I pull the right color? Survey says, yeah, that'll work. I can work with that. Put that in there for some of the dark shadows under Glimmy.
Let's see how we're going to do a little bit of that. Go back to here. Spin, spin, spin. Wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn. Show us the picture that we must learn.
And now I'm going in with a lighter color. Now, here's one thing might be able to watch. When I'm working through this area right here, in fact, can you do me a favor, Caradwin?
Yeah.
Can you kind of zoom in, right? You know, I've got this area.
Right down on the bottom
Yeah,
there?
right about down there area.
Yeah, okay, give me just a brief momentito here.
I'm going to show you one of the advantages of working with this, because these are water-based.
All right, give me just a sec here, and I go over to here, and I say...
I'm going to keep my hand going back and forth in the area where I'm going to be working here.
Okay, I can see where, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's see here, and then where's my zoom? My zoom's over here. How about do 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 do. You are live and centered.
Okay. Now I'm going to start pulling this card. Now, if you'll notice, right here along this edge, this is all blending in to this very nicely. Now, when I get down this dark area here, that's going to actually start pulling up some, so I can actually kind of integrate. And I do have to be a little bit careful. It'll be a bit darker. If you were concerned like working in that area, it might be good to take on the side section, just kind of work it back and forth. But I'm just trying to get some of these lighter, but not areas that'll be like solid white.
We'll do that in just a moment. Frank, thanks for the reminder.
Looking for to see if I can spot something. Okay, they're over there. Never mind. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Well, for a moment I couldn't figure out where my regular glasses were. I'm like, they're not like on the floor. I'm not going to step on them. I was like, oh no, they're over
Crunch,
there.
they're there.
Yeah, I found them. Okay.
All right, and while you're doing that, we will take a moment to say thank you to our sponsor, University Art.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put up their logo in just a second here. As soon as I click on this thing right here, it says save.
There.
Yes. Yes, University Art is a high-end art supplies, framing, and art instruction store that has branches in Redwood City and San Jose and Sacramento, California. They do museum quality framing, framing that's designed to last, literally a century without any nasty chemicals or anything like that in the, framing materials to, attack the artwork itself. Again, I wouldn't trust my artwork to anybody else. I got all my Baron stuff framed there. And they're really friendly staff. They know what they're talking about. And again, you can, if you need to get some advice on art supplies, art techniques, get some instruction, or just want to hang out at a cool art store, that's University Art.
Yep. I don't know if you've zoomed out, but you probably can zoom back
did.
out again. Thank you. All right. Good.
There we go.
Boop-a-doop.
So thank you to our sponsor, University Art. They're in the process of getting into the whole online retailing thing.
So
they have
slow.
a little way to go yet. But
Yeah. But I think Mike, my former employee, my employer, my manager, he would really like them to get along faster.
Yeah. Mad Badger says he always visits the Sacramento store on J Street. So he's met Jaya then, probably.
Yes, he has.
Yeah. And that actually reminds me, 2 shows from now.
Mm-hmm.
The show on September 30th, we're going to have Mike from...
Jeff.
Jeff, I'm sorry. Jeff from the San Jose store is going to be in the hot chair. Yeah, here in the studio. He is going to show us Egyptian tomb painting techniques.
Yep, he's going to be bringing in some of the materials. He's going to be talking to folks about how in ancient Egypt it is to pick out the materials, set things up. You've always kind of wondered how they did those King Tut's walls. Well, he's a guy who's actually studied that stuff. And I'm going to have him here in the...
We'll make him do an Anubis.
Yeah.
There we go. We got to have the Bruton, and she'll go, ooh, yeah. Sexy.
Anubis has been overdrawn. So yeah, he'll be in, and then we're hoping on October 14th that Jai will be able to join us again.
Yeah, so it'll be 2 in a row.
Yeah, doing
More flamethrower art.
yeah, more flamethrower art. Exactly.
Yeah, and if any of you folks missed it, that we're not exaggerating. She does a style of art called encaustics, which is essentially melted pots of wax with, say, with the pigments in them. You know, and she'll layer up to a 1/4-inch thick. By the time she's done, on specially prepared board, and she does all of her blends and stuff like that with a blowtorch.
Yep.
So yeah, you can come watch come watch her set Baron on fire. And we put it this way: she makes Pinkie Pie look positively calm in comparison.
Yes, she is an exuberant ball of energy.
That is one word for it.
She made working at UA always an exciting and fun experience.
Dusty, you need an afro before you can say things like that.
What's this?
It's like, I think the 4-inch brush, and the dark blue would have made the water faster. Maybe a knife with some titanium light for highlights. Channeling the inner Bob Ross.
Yeah. Of which my wife is so bummed she's been unable to get one of the Funko Bob Ross dolls, bobbleheads.
Get on it, guys.
Yeah, she wants a Bob Ross Funko. So bad. I find it so amusing that he's had the second rebirth, a whole generation, and he's been gone since the early 90s.
Well, here's the thing.
But people love just watching him work.
There is a sort of a recent, well, it's not recent, it just has a name for it. ASMR, acoustic stimulation something response. That's basically where people bust out their NPR voices and talk calmly to you for 2 hours on a live stream, and it helps you get to sleep, and it helps you meditate. And so it's this all low, calm, stuff there.
Soothing.
And, yeah, exactly. And Bob Ross is kind of sort of the
visual.
He's the progenitor of it in popular culture, even though a lot of people don't realize it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently a lot of folks love to tune in and watch me draw.
Yeah, Dusty, I've seen that thing. You need to take it out and flamethrower it. It's rude.
What's this?
Oh, Dusty says he does too have an afro. It's hanging up on the rack. It's alive. I think it's evil.
All right, what I'm doing is I'm just going through and I'm kind of doing a quick evening out of the color here in the sky before I get on to some other things here, because it's easier to get your background stuff done first before you start working on your character. And then you start realizing, oh, wait a minute, I didn't do my sky right. Now I'm trying to blend around my character, and my character may have pencil on it, and that just, it's a problem. Just try to avoid that. And since I've really been flying fast and loose here, I need to tidy this up a little bit. So we're just going to do a quick thing here, then we'll get some water kind of blocked in real fast, and then we'll get on to Glimmy here. Time we're looking at, okay, I'm still on.
We've got plenty of time.
I'm doing pretty good here. I'm making okay time. I always think oh my gosh, I must be already through my hour. It's like, no, wait, I'm doing okay.
Time flies when you're having something, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. Bang, there, see? Logo. Ha.
And what I'm doing is I'm blending and I'm pulling away from her, so I reduce the chance of pulling color into her. So I'm working out away from the area I'm trying to preserve.
Yeah. I say back then, he was, everybody was a veteran because they were drafting everybody in sight. But, so was John Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, John Denver was a sniper.
So was Huey Lewis.
So was Huey Lewis. That was the whole point of walking on a thin line.
Yep.
And so actually was George Carlin.
Yep.
He was Air Force.
And Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth. Dr. Ruth first time as a little tiny gnome was a sniper for the Israeli army during the time when Israel was first being born, right after the Second World War.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was once asked, did you ever actually shoot someone? So I shot at them,
Yeah.
Did I hit? I don't know. Now let us talk about the sex life of everybody. Scary little sniper gnome talking about your sex life. Well, that one, so that just killed my wing boner. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So he went 180 degrees, basically, to sort of let things go.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually saw much service. There's some. I don't know whether or not how much urban legend there is to that. It is certain. It is certain that Huey Lewis was a sniper.
Yes.
Which was first, Mr. Spock or Dr. Spock? Dr. Spock.
Yes.
Dr. Spock was 50s.
Yes.
Chuck Norris isn't a veteran of the service. The service is a veteran of Chuck Norris.
Yes, there we go. Okay, see, it's starting to look a little bit more like Even Blue. I've got some areas up here to kind of, that's okay. Like I say, this is more like a glorified color study than I'm not trying to create a Michelangelo here tonight. I'm just showing you folks how this all kind of works. But you can see how nice and fast and even this color's getting. You folks have worked with colored pencil, you know how long you'd be sitting there grinding, sharpening your pencil, grinding.
I think you'd end up with a 1/4 inch of pencil lead all over your.
Right,
hand.
wondering if you're going to get carpal tunnel or not doing this. Okay. Going in here with the cotton swab again, and one of the things you will also notice is the first time you do this, your working surface, your bristle here, will get actually almost kind of transparent. You'll kind of look at it and go, whoa, and if you've got like a dark spot on your...
Yeah, it looks gray, but as it dries, it will resaturate.
Yes. And if you've got like a dark spot on your working board underneath here, it'll sometimes come through and you go, oh my God, what have I done? Don't worry. Just stay calm. Keep working. It's all right.
Yeah. So Pukinator, yeah, Elvis basically, was drafted for recruitment, but I think the highest ranking big name star that I can think of that was in the service was Jimmy Stewart, who was, if I remember correctly, a lieutenant general, something like that.
Of course, there was Audrey Murphy too, who wasn't very high ranking, but he won a Congressional Medal of Honor, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but I think Jimmy Stewart, he was in the Army Air Corps, and I think he made general.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why when they made the movie The Strategic Air Command, he was able to do, him and the studio were able to do what they were able to do because Jimmy could, clear for things.
Yeah.
And of course, Curse of May thought it was a great recruiting film, so hey.
And of course, everybody's heard the stories about Ted Williams. Ted Williams is one of the greatest baseball hitters of all time. I think he still has the record for highest batting average in a season.
Yeah, he was the last 400 average. He was
Right.
actually in my dad's unit in Korea.
Yeah. And supposedly his vision was so good that he could actually see and watch the seams of the baseball rotating as the pitch traveled from the pitcher towards him, and then make up his mind whether to hit or not, which is why he was so good. He was also a very, very good fighter pilot. Something that the U.S. does that most nationalities don't do, or at least didn't do, back when there was these long drawn-out wars with everybody throwing their pilots at each other and all that. Was after you got a certain number of, you finish your tour of duty and you've got 12 shoot downs and all that, they took you back, and instead of putting you back on the front lines, they had you teach.
Yep.
Which is why you will have, like, if you're looking at the all-time highest number of known shoot downs, etc., it's German and Japanese and Russian. But these guys, but most of those pilots actually
didn't finish the war.
Didn't finish the war because they eventually got shot down themselves.
Yeah.
Eventually they would run out of their side would run out of good pilots and be 100% rookies in the air.
Also,
because there was nobody left to teach.
Right, and also too, it's not actually very good for morale on the home front. So they also stopped doing it for that reason too. They said, we keep losing these guys that everyone really likes, and we put them up on pedestals, and then they get shot down. Well, let's maybe try to stop doing that.
Yeah. Well, Nozumi's curious about brush cleaning afterwards. I don't think you need to really clean the brushes afterwards.
Well, you do need to clean the brushes. What I will do sometimes, like when I was working on this gentleman's big Celestia piece, when I would finish a major color, like I was done doing all that indigo blue. That got into everything. So I had to go and thoroughly clean the brushes. But clean the brushes is really straightforward. I like using Master Source brush cleaner, but you can actually use this Ivory bar soap, or when I was in college, I used to use Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo. And that used to work just fine for getting me the effects I needed.
Well, apparently, say Frank's starting to get the weird pony dreams too.
Oh, really?
I wanted to mention a weird dream I had. I was a Shetland pony sitting out just outside my Hobbit-style home in Ponyville. I was puffing on a long stem pipe, and Twilight was trying to figure out who I was and how my house got there, hill and all.
It's the kind of puzzle she would love.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I need to, in fact, tomorrow probably will be some of it, was get people caught back up again, back up to speed on the main dreamscape. It was just that one dream I had was just so visual. It's like, I need to draw these all out really, really quick, because it was only a one-night thing. And I haven't asked Patina whether or not that's anything like she saved in, like, say, our Netflix queue or anything like that. I can go back and watch it again. So it's like,
Yeah. I'm like, do you wish me a good day? Is this a day for me to be good on? Will I have a good day whether I want to or not?
Yes. I think I'd be good morning, like some,
I am Star Swirl, and Star Swirl means me.
Yeah.
You know, the Rankin Bass version of The Hobbit, the animated one from the 70s, actually follows the story fairly closely.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff it omits, but they do a pretty good job of actually tracking the book.
Better than the latest version.
Well, they were drawing upon secondary and tertiary material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, too, there was some parts I'm going, this feels like the next level in the video game.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, I'm just kind of blocking in here around the water.
Yep.
Things. You'll see in a moment here, I can just do this really, really quick, and then I can get on to other things.
Yep.
I got 15 minutes until next break. I can get this water done before then. If I
And the third hour, you're going to start putting down color on.
Gloomy. Yep.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, you work from background to foreground. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you want to be able to put the foreground stuff on top.
Yeah. Sometimes I would work Glimmy first, but in this case, it's easier to do her all as one thing. And this blue will still work just fine, so I don't need to switch to a different part of the paper towel.
Yep.
And in this case here, I might not do as much towel blending. I may just use the brush strokes here to kind of pull it back and forth. Kind of get the...
Oh yeah. They also have with the exception of the main song, the greatest adventure of Glenn Yarbrough. It's like, oh my God, that voice just it's like fingernails on chalkboard. But the other stuff, 15 birds in 5 fir trees, their feathers were fanned by a fiery breeze. But funny little birds, they had no wings. Oh, what shall we do with the funny little things? What shall we do with the funny little things? Boil them and toast them and burn them till skins crack and eyes burn and yeah. Because it works for fun. That's correct. That's correct, Legault. Christopher Lee was indeed SAS, Special Air. He was dropped behind enemy lines about 3 to 4 weeks before D-Day to spread havoc and
mischief.
And to find officers and make sure that they never came home again. And he was hardcore, serious hardcore.
Okay, I can probably tweak and work on this a bit more to define things up, but I'm actually going to jump right onto Glim.
Yeah.
That sounds improper.
Yeah. Yeah, the Rankin Bass, they Return of the King because they had the rights to it, but they did not have the rights to either Fellowship or Two Towers.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just that's one of the reasons why it took so long for Lord of the Rings, movie, the Peter Jackson ones to happen, and why it took so long, for The Hobbit to happen after that, was because Tolkien had signed away the TV and movie rights in a very, very sloppily, badly written contract back in the 60s. That was just full of, contradictions and vagaries, and it was just, it's one of the worst, the sloppiest contracts ever written on a multi-billion-dollar now property. So, yes,
Yeah.
a source of nothing but pain. Yeah.
Yes. And actually, I'm going to take a little moment here before we get going further about your color pencils and everything. Okay, so, color pencils, they're not, horribly expensive. They're not like, tubes of paint where you're spending $15, $20, $50 for a tube. But, they're not, dirt cheap. So you want to try and get your money's worth out of these things. And one of the best ways to do that is to get a pencil lengthener. And there's two types. There's this type here, which has the color you cinch down.
Thanks for the heads up, generic. I'll correct that on the.
Oh, is that?
It says the intermission music is louder than the voicing here. Yeah.
Okay. And then their other type are this, sliding collar. So put on, cinch it in place. They do basically the same thing. Most manufacturers of color pencils nowadays do a pretty good job to try and center the leads. Don't know if you can see this. Can you get kind of a zoom in on this here, Cared One? This pencil right here?
Here, if I go.
I'll try not to move my hand.
And then here, and then I will go zoom, 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 and zoom, zoom. Look the other way. I thought I'd go that way. There, and all right, you are totally zoomed.
Okay, so basically what you want to do when you're looking for a color pencil, whatever brand it is, try to look for one that has the lead as in the center of the wood sleeve as possible. That will give you a tip that's, fairly...
It won't be offset, and
Right.
it won't break at odd
Right.
moments.
Oh, I'm going to show you one here that I bought where I wasn't very careful about this. Doesn't look quite as bad here, but the problem is that the lead isn't running straight through this. So,
yeah, you can see, yeah.
yeah, in fact, this one's so bad, I actually have to go in with like an X-Acto knife and shave this to get this other side over here, and you can see how it's just not, not good. So when that's one of the things why I do like to go in and buy my pencils whenever possible, because
By hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Like David Gilmour and his vacuum tubes.
Exactly. The manufacturers have gotten a lot better about that. Sanford had a problem for about a year or so. Truth in Advertising, they moved their factory from the U.S. to Mexico, and it took them about a year before they could actually make good pencils again. And they're finally getting some good stuff really back in the supply chain. But boy, for about a year, it was pretty sad.
Yeah, speaking of supply chains, Generic wants to know if there's still a shortage of colored pencils due to the recent adult coloring book fad.
That is not as bad as it was, say 12 months ago. It got to be pretty, right before I left UA, it was getting to the point we were ordering direct from Sanford, and Sanford could only fill maybe 50% of our orders because everything was just out. Yep. So what I'm doing here is I'm going into a mixture of grade lavender and lilac to kind of create Glim Glam's main body color.
I think I see some new people.
Oh, hi.
In Vertigo, have you been here before? If so, welcome back. If not, just plain welcome. And Fox, how about you? And I say, are you new? If so, welcome. If not,
okay,
welcome back.
So we're...
Anybody else? Anybody else here is new? Say hi. We will say hi back because we do things like that.
Yes, we're friendly folk. Actually, I want to do...
Yeah. Kalinin says that the pencil extender is kind of like cigarette holders.
Yeah, yep, that's one we're thinking about.
Yeah, I almost wonder if a cigarette holder is the right diameter for just if you wanted to get one with some character.
I don't know. That I'd have to experiment with. But yes, it's more or less the same idea. You also will see some things like this in art schools for holding vine charcoal, too.
Let's see, yeah. You can usually see both ends of an unsharpened pencil. Yeah, exactly. Colored pencils generally don't arrive pre-sharpened.
Yeah. Well, actually, Prismacolor has started shipping theirs with a little nubbin of a tip on there, but it's so small because they don't want breaking in transit. It's like, well, why are you guys even doing this? Just leave it unsharpened, and I'll sharpen it when I get home.
Well, that means you'll consume them 5% faster.
This is true. Actually, that is one thing that they are doing now that is driving me and a lot of other artists nuts. I don't have an really old Prisma. They used to do this thing where they'd put the number about here, and they'd put the name at the very, very back end of the pencil on one side. So you could sharpen it way down and still have a good idea.
What the name and the number of the pencil was.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the name is like at the 3/4 mark, so you grind off the name. So you better get pretty good at memorizing the Prismacolor number conventions. So go say PC 156. Oh yeah, that's grade lavender, because sometimes you'll pick up like 3 colors and they're pretty close to each other, and you won't notice that they're different until you've like put some down. And it's like, now I gotta try to incorporate this in, hide it.
So Sakana wants to know what's the fastest way to to eat say a pencil, electric manual crank or the little tiny manual vest pocket things.
Okay.
Which can turn a pencil into a pile of pencil shavings the fastest?
Okay. In theory, an electric can turn a pencil into a pile of shavings the fastest. However, if you use the electric pencil sharpener correctly, you will be less likely to break tips and damage your pencil. So in that case, it will actually make your pencils last longer. I use electric here and at home in my main studio, and it's my preferred method. I know I'll use the hand crank ones. The problem with all the, crank it like this or turn it like this is that you'll notice when I'm working my hands, I'm not keeping my hand, and the pencil here is turning a little bit. Same way if you're cranking it. It wants to wobble up and down, and what you'll do is you'll get fractures through the lead. Whereas an electric pencil sharpener, if you push it straight in and pull it straight out, there's very little torque. If you hold the pencil as much as possible as close to the entrance to the mechanical pencil sharpener, or the pencil sharpener, push it in, pull it out. Don't hold it all the way back here, because then it'll start, wobbling, and once again you start putting stress fractures into the lead. So that's why I like the electric. And actually, on a somewhat similar vein, if you do get a color pencil, it has to be wax-based for this to work, that wax-based or oil-based, this will work. If you get a case where it seems like you sharpen it and then the lead just wants to crack and break out, or the lead seems like it's wanting to fall out of the wooden body here, what may have happened is when they make the pencil, they'll put a bead of glue on the inside of the wooden body, then they'll slide the lead into that. And sometimes the lead will separate from that wood and glue. A little trick you can learn, we learned this from the Sanford folks who make these, is throw your color pencils in the microwave for 10 seconds. And just blip them. And what it'll do is it'll heat the wax up and it'll rebond it to the glue and wood. Of course, make sure if you have a pencil extender like this, take the pencil extender off before you throw it in the microwave, or else you're going to have a light show.
So 7 Cents wants to know about the drafting pointers. Are you familiar with those?
Drafting lead pointers. Yes, I am.
Yeah. Do those work with color pencils? I would think not, because I would
No.
think that the wax-based
Gums them up.
It gums them up, and they're also more liable to break than graphite, which is a little bit stronger.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not really a good choice. For some specialized occasions, or like that one there that has the really crummy.
That's not all that works
I
for
wasn't
Dave.
careful about that when I checked out and bought my pencil.
That's not all that technique works for.
I
You
will
knew it.
use an X-Acto knife and I'll hand shave a pencil, but that's more of an exception than the norm.
Don't
Okay.
some electrics stop cutting once a tip has been attained?
Yes, some do. Some will do an automatic shut-off. That's rather handy. And of course, you'll have the case where you'll occasionally break off a pencil lead in your sharpener. It's like, oh, crud. And I always just keep some cheap number 2 school pencils around, and I'll just shove one of those in there and just run it through until I basically grind down the broken lead inside the sharpener, and then just keep going. The other thing you do have to watch out with any sharpener you use is if you go and sharpen your black grape, then come along and sharpen your powder blue, you can sometimes end up with little bits of the previous pigment on the tip. So if you're working off like a white or a light color, be aware of that. Sometimes you'll get excess on, and I'll just take my drafting brush and just kind of clean it off. You will actually get a little bit of pigment that will kind of build up on the working surface here. Once again, use your drafting brush. Try not to use your hand, because the odds are you're going to, and you're going to do a big old streak. It'll always will be a dark color right through your light color. Sure as death and taxes. Okay. Let's grab this, work some gray lavender through here.
Yep. As Sakana says, the only non-mechanical leads that Sakana knows about are non-photo blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine something as specialized like that. It's like, okay, this is worth making a very strong version of, you know.
Yeah. And non-photo blue is one of those colors you have to watch out for, because I end up, you can actually create non-photo blue if you're not careful. And it produces sky, actually makes this kind of cool looking sky color. And then when you go to scan and reproduce your work, your sky disappears.
And we are, by the way, just about at 7:30.
Right, so why don't we just pull it back out?
Yeah, we're pull out.
Pull back. So
now I'm going to push this button right here that says
main.
Boink.
Boink. All right, so we're going to take another 5-minute break, and then when I get that all done, we're going to come back, and I'm going to start working on actually getting Glimmy here.
Purpling her up.
Yeah, I need to put a little bit of white down on her first before I start out, because I want to make sure I get a certain particular color out of it.
Alrighty, folks. 5 minutes. Go stretch. Go be biological. Go get yourself some brain lubricant. See you then.
All right. See you in 5.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. And I just want to actually, before we get any further, I want to go back to something I saw pop up just before we went to break, and that was Doka World. So they may have actually adjusted the scanners so that you don't have the problem about non-photo blue going bye-bye on you, because if they did, that would have been great back in like the early 2000s, because it didn't do that. I accidentally created non-photo blue for a picture.
Oops.
Mm-hmm.
And which picture was that?
It was a piece I did for Antarctic Press, actually. Might have been 2000.
Oh, it was one of the Genus covers.
No, it was actually one of the...
or was it Furlough?
No, it was actually one of the ones for Ninja High School.
Oh, okay, cool.
Did.
Oh, Ben Dunn, yeah.
Yeah, Ben Dunn. And the photographer had to do all kinds of games to try and pull that part out and not wreck the rest of the picture. So...
Oops, sorry for making your life miserable,
yeah,
Mr. Pre-Press guy.
Yeah, he charged me extra for that.
Yeah. All right, just going right here. What do you call spelunking into a huge maze-like dark cave full of bats, snakes, and orcs to find gaffer gamgees? Long, you scroll. Oh, I'm just too slow. Reading glasses so that Sam can go with you. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, third hour now. We're going to get. It's not showing up as purpley as it could, so I'm going to do a little bit of color adjustment. And bring up the red, so you'll see weird color things after I push this button.
And I switch my glasses.
Here.
All right.
Yeah, because she looks a little gray here, so I'm going to mess with the color balance. Yep. I'm going to mess with the color balance kind of guy.
And we're also going to put a little bit of white in here, because I want to kind of make certain that she doesn't get too dark. Now, she's going to look a bit dark at first when we start this, because you're once again going to have the darkening of the surface from the Gamsol. And of course I want to work on her because she's underneath her mane and tail in some cases, so I need to get that color just like the background color. I want to get that in first. I also will kind of block more or less where her shadows are going to be. This way I can get a nice solid color without having to get too dark, because Starlight's not that.
Let's see, looking over here. Yeah, that's actually pretty close. Let's push the contrast a little bit and a little bit of saturation, and we'll say save. Makes your hand a little bit sunburny, but but again, it's not a perfect webcam there. So again, someday I will have a like a digital, SLR, like a Nikon or something like that, and use that as the overhead cam. But that day is not today. There we go. Oh, Clennon says, put some colored saran wrap over your scanner to get rid of the blue problem. Well, that could work. I mean,
yeah, and if it's stupid and it works, how stupid is it? I mean, give it a try.
Yeah, it's the answer, not even a little.
Yeah. I mean, cry me some of the gimmicks I've come up with to get things accomplished.
Today's brain lube is a can of Rockstar. Well, the secondary brain lube is like...
It's called hydration.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to get too much alcohol at high temperatures like this because that messes with your ability of your body to regulate its temperature.
Yep.
So we're just being good. We're just being good. You know, it's just high octane, Baron fuel. Let's see. Just sort of looking over here. Yeah, that's pretty close. That's pretty close.
I'm pulling in some some of the darker shadows like underneath her
Yeah.
her chin and like underneath the mane here, because that's kind of a area covered.
It is before these buttons that the angle of our cameras shall be decided.
Yeah, Lars's.
Yep.
By the way, I haven't had a chance to say hi. Hi, River Coon. Glad you can make it tonight.
Yep, barcode. Yeah.
And I'm going to be sending him some stuff soon because he was one of the guys. He won the New Year's Eve Get Your OC.
Indeedly doodly.
And we're getting. I always try to get those done before the holiday season.
Let's see. How about go back to that one? Eliminate that. Desert Crystal.
All right. There we go. Work a little more
And
white.
then down in octave.
There. And there, and there, and there. Okay, now I'm going to be changing kind of color families here. So I'm going to be going from blue into like lavenders and everything. So what I'm going to want to do is make sure I clean all of the blue pigment out of my brush. Now, when you're working it here in the jar, you can kind of see the color kind of float off. But what I'm going to also make sure I don't have any lingering behind, so I end up with a weird colored starlight, is I put a little bit of one of the light base colors up here. I'm just going to work it around in the brush. Just pick up some of that stuff. All right. And for this, I'm going to have to do it all with cotton swabs because it's just too tight of areas. Once again, she'll look a little bit darker than she will be eventually because, once again, the paper's actually getting darkened by the initial coat of solvent. Subsequent layers you build up, it kind of makes like this waterproof layer of pigment and residual wax, and it won't get dark again. One of the things is some of you might be thinking about this if you actually work with traditional art materials. You might be saying, well, Baron, why don't you work with watercolor pencils? I mean, you can get rid of, you haven't used the solvent and everything, and it's, the same idea. The reason why I don't work with watercolor pencils is one, except on days like today when it's very, very hot, the water takes much longer to dry than the solvent does, or else I have to break out like a hair dryer. And I'm kind of a morning person. Sometimes I will get up at like 5 a.m. in the morning and start working on my projects, and I really don't want to be waking up everyone else in my household. Cat's Paw over there would appreciate very much if there wasn't the whirring sound of a hair dryer at 5 a.m. down the hall.
Well, this is how you set your clock.
Yep.
So Generic would like you to would like you to name a remake of a movie or TV series that was better than the original it was based on, aside from the obvious. Something where the remake was better.
Battlestar Galactica. Hopefully that wasn't the obvious.
I agree.
The new Voltron.
I've heard good things about that. Say Dusty it's just eaten that up.
Yeah, the new Voltron, very, very good. It is campy, but it's good grade A camp at least.
And speaking of Dusty, how about I go grab Dusty and put him in the hot seat for a little while? He's got an adventure coming up that you guys might want to hear about.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. I will be right back.
He's about ready to go on the road.
I'm going to grab a Dusty. Be right
to
back.
a far and distant land. But yeah, the working the solvent, and one of the beauties about the solvent is it doesn't make the paper swell like water will. Even watercolor paper will get kind of buckly and everything like that, and so you have to be careful. And if I was using some of these more aggressive blending techniques with water, I would actually end up chewing up this working surface. I can take this sheet of Bristol,
yeah.
soak it in a tub of Gamsol, lay it out, it won't even buckle. And if I come back in about an hour, it's as flat as it was when I pulled it off the pad.
Yep.
When I was doing the demo during the UCreate day, I actually had a little sheet of paper and I was demonstrating that to folks over and over. I had the same sheet, I kept dunking in, and it just, no problem. I mean, it literally turned almost translucent. I put so much solvent on it. It just didn't care.
Yeah. There'll be a few minutes, say, for Dusty. He is in a small square room at the moment.
He's doing some last minute stuff.
Yeah, he is attending to biological needs.
Right.
Yeah, so Orcus says that supposedly the English dub of Big O was actually better than the original Japanese version. Maybe. Sometimes it goes the other way. It's,
yep.
Not often, but it does happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought the dub for Cowboy Bebop was very, very good. And Engineer Sam did mention Yamato 2199, which was an excellent remake of the original.
Yep.
There
he is. There he is. All right. Watch your step. There's
Lots of stuff.
cocktail making.
Cocktail stuff.
Cocktail stuff. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have some new people here in the stream tonight. This gentleman here is Dusty, the man Leah's brony.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. The guy who kind of got me my break.
Oh, you keep saying that, but guess what? You ran with it.
Yeah, I ran with it, but someone has to open the door first, otherwise I'll just bash my head against the door.
Well,
yeah, but yeah, and you, of course, had a very successful BronyCon.
I had a steamingly successful BronyCon.
Yes.
And I use that word not lightly in this room. Actually, it's nicer in this room than it is in my bedroom next door, where I have a fan pointed up at me doing nothing but blowing hot air, trying to watch the Yes.
Yeah.
You blow a lot of hot air, buddy. Yes, but it's very nice in here, actually.
Yes.
Let's
And,
stay in here.
you know,
He's drunk. Yeah. Brayburn is drunk over
Is
there.
Brayburn and Celestia doing something inappropriate?
It's Brayburn.
It's Brayburn. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So-
I actually brought this back for my man because he's a Brayburn fan, and there was one of these up at BronyCon last weekend. Was that last weekend? That was last weekend.
Yeah, it was last
Wasn't
weekend.
Oh my God, my
Yeah.
life just goes like that.
Yeah, you were up for that too. How was that?
That was a very small, relaxed con, 500 people kind of thing. It was their last year, so they had a really nice. I got to see the Nerf Wars up close and personal. I'm just standing by the side with Marjan watching, and all of a sudden I got like 3 shot at me. It's like I'm not even in this, guys. Stop. Whatever.
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage. I don't think it was collateral damage. I looked at it and they were aiming at me. They were.
Opportunity.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
you're about ready to embark upon a really
yeah, so
big trip.
this is how my month has gone, gentlemen, people. I have an audiobook, which I just completed, awesome, and delivered, it's in the Portals of Infinity series, called Of Temples and Trials, written by John Van Stry, which will be live on Audible, if Audible likes it, probably by the 15th. So look for it. I will be coming back from Japan at that point, because on this Monday, Labor Day, I am flying on the Big Bird to Japanland with some friends of mine who found some cheap tickets and said, "You're going." I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm going." So we're going to Japan, and we're going to go to Dogo Onsen, which was actually in a Ghibli movie. We're going to go to the Yamaha Museum for me, and we're going to go to Yokohama, and we're going to meet up with a whole bunch of the Japan bronies on that Sunday, and it's going to be awesome. And Big Ken is going to take me all over Tokyo, and we're going to see a whole bunch of stuff, and it's going to be great. We're going to go to a place called Edo Wonderland, which is, if you go off to like the Wild West touristy area, and you've got the Wild West town and all that stuff down in Tucson, think of that in Japan, but during the Edo period.
So samurai.
So you got samurai and geishas and ninjas and all that kind of stuff. It is so kitschy, it's going to be awesome. So yeah, looking forward to that. It's going to be cool.
Back to the past.
Back to the past. Samurai Jack.
Yes.
Got to get back to the past.
Yes.
I'm going. That's just the way it is. I am Samurai Jack. I am going back to the past
Uh-huh.
in Japan.
And you're going to take lots of awesome pictures.
Lots of awesome pictures. I'm taking my smart doll Katsuna, which everyone thinks is creepy, back to her home where she was born.
I don't think she's creepy.
So we can buy some nice clothes for her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she's gonna be my travel companion again. So
Yeah.
we'll take some really nice pictures of her with Mount Fuji, things like that. Yeah, so I had to get this book done, right? So I come back from BronyCon. There's 2.5 weeks left in this month, and the author, John, says, hey, I'll give you a bonus if you can get the book done by the end of the month. I've got 7 chapters to do, and I still want to go to BronyCon. So it's like it was a chapter a day. So I was putting in 9 to 11 hours a day for 2 straight weeks to get that book done. And my voice was shot. I had 1 chapter to go and a 5-page epilogue. And everybody knows my old show, Stay Brony, my friends. Screwball, my co-host, was going to be at BronyCon. And I haven't seen Screwy in a couple of years. So I said, you know what? I need a break. I'm going to jump on my bike at 5:30 in the morning on Thursday and take off. So I took off from San Jose, California, ended up in Portland, Oregon the first night, stayed with a friend, and then ran in to Vancouver and got into the hotel. I parked the bike, I'm in my riding gear, I've got my helmet, I come walking into the lobby, and people just went, Dusty, what are you doing here? That's like, surprise! I mean, even the people who were putting it on, it's like, did we invite you? No, I'm just here.
Oh, yes, you did. And where's my free room? And,
That wasn't
where's
any
my
of that.
$5,000
There wasn't any of that, but no.
Just want to take a moment here.
Yeah.
Hey, Dame, glad you make it.
I stayed with Terzi and I stayed with Marjan, and we actually went down to, me and Marjan actually went in to have dinner with Sibsy and Mando and Sam and Screwy for Mando's birthday, which was last Monday. So we had some dinner, and then we all went back to Sam's place and watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I hadn't seen yet, which was a laugh riot. We were just laughing. It was great. Got up on Monday morning, got my back here on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm back in the booth. Get the last chapter done on Wednesday. Thursday, I do the 5-page epilogue, get that done, and then the author comes back and says, hey, back in chapter 11, you put a she instead of a he in the middle of the chapter, like at 1623. Could you fix that? It's like, okay, I'll go back and check. Oh, you idiot. You did not save after doing the entire chapter edit before you did your mastering. Now you have to re-edit the end of the chapter. Oh, yeah, dumb. So now I have that in my, work program. It's like, save it before you do, yeah. So I've been learning this whole process of doing an audiobook.
It's a learning curve.
It's a learning curve. I didn't know how to use the DAW I bought to do this. It was a very powerful, lots of things. I had to learn how to use it to do ACX specs. I had to learn how to read an audiobook. I had to do all that stuff, but now it's done. You guys can hear it soon. I'm so happy. If you buy it, and we make a little money on this, I can do it again.
Yep.
So if you guys like hearing me read books, buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, M.A. Larson, buy my book. I'm gonna until he buys that book, I'm gonna tweet him every day. As soon as it's available, I'm gonna send him a link. It's like, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. You guys should do it too.
You should go. You know what you should do?
What?
You should sign M.A. Larson.
I should.
Yeah,
I should.
M.A. Larson.
Yes. Battle Axe. It's called Of Temples and Trials. It's in the Portals of Infinity series by John Van Stry. It's not live yet, but it will be on Audible. He has 2 other books in the series which have already been read by somebody else, but that guy went and disappeared. So John came to me. I did book 3. If this sells well, he's going to have me do the rest of the books in the series, which there are like 4 or 5 more books. So 1, please buy the book so I have a job. 2, I think the book is fun because it's actually set in a fantasy realm. Here's the overarching plot of the series. There is a gentleman named William. he is one of the 1% of 1% of 1% of the human population who can actually see the portals of reality on the planet of Earth. If you go into a reality, that reality has all these realities. That whole thing is called the infinite by the gods. And yes, the gods talk to people, and the gods have champions, and William becomes one god's champion. And then there's all the interplay between all the different realms and all the different gods and all the different going and doing godlike things and all that kind of fun. On top of that, he marries the queen of the realm that he's being a champion of, but he's also married to a girl in a medieval setting in another realm, and he owns an inn over here.
So it's an entire new universe. Is it polygamy?
Is it? Who knows? But the so yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool little sci-fi fantasy sort of series. I think I did a good job, so hopefully you guys will think I did a good job and have some fun listening to that. It's about 5 hours, so
You have a rough idea what the list price is going to be for?
I have no idea what the list price will be. It's probably going to be between $7 and $13 or something like that.
Okay, not.
You know, most audiobooks are, you know, there's work. Trust me, people.
There's work involved.
I have put myself. I did the prep work. I did the reading. I did all the editing, the mastering. I have probably 150 hours in this book, maybe more. Just basically because I had to learn how to do it in the first place. If I went from beginning to end, I'd probably have 100 hours in a book. So yeah, I've put a lot of time and effort in this book. So please check it out. Soon, coming to Audible.
By the way, someone did ask the question. It was in 2011 or 2012 when I first appeared on your
12.
12? Okay, yeah, your
12.
October.
No, yeah, it was the end of the second season.
Yeah.
End of the second season.
Yeah, basically Dusty had me on the show, and it was the first time that, Kieran here set up a camera rig and everything with a drawing table. If I could
Right in the front room.
This drawing table here. A different location.
Yep. Different house.
Different house, yeah.
Different house.
And that was my first time on the air, and I was really uncertain whether anyone really was going to want to sit down and watch me draw. It's like me.
No. I did not get Baron into furry fandom. Okay.
No.
That's not how it worked.
I think he was.
We were on different coasts.
Before then,
yeah.
He was into it about the time I got into it, which is like the late 80s.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Okay.
I got involved in the early 80s.
Early 80s.
Kind of played around it for a while. Didn't know anybody else. The two people who really kind of got me into it, I think one of them is in the stream tonight, actually, or usually shows up. But Mad Badger and Eric Elliott are the ones who are responsible for getting.
Eric actually was also in the SCA, which I was in the SCA.
Yeah, he was
Earl Marshal.
He was Earl Marshal of the entire Kingdom of the West.
Yes.
Basically the chief referee.
Chief referee of the entire kingdom.
Yep. And had so long as you could hear him over a battle.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
Well, again, he had his own military service.
Yep.
He did a full tour of duty as a ground pounder during the hottest part of the Vietnam War.
Yes, he did. Actually, Graylin, it is Portals of Infinity is the series. It's called Of Temples and Trials, and the author is John Van Stry, S-T-R-Y. So he has 2 up there already. The third one should be live around halfway through the month, about the 15th. Start looking for it around then. Because Audible has to go through it and make sure that my editing is all that good and all that stuff. So normally, they have so many books come in, they just rubber stamp stuff. So who knows? They might get caught in something. I may have done something wrong. Who knows? I might have to fix it when I get back, but I won't know that until Audible goes through it.
Yeah, but it's your first time and everything.
And it's my first one, so
they want to double check it.
I was amazed because I sent all of this stuff off. I sent every recording off to John, and I was doing almost one a day. Temples and Trials. Portals of Infinity is the series. But so I sent everyone off to John, and he's actually writing another book at this time. So he got behind, like 6 or 7 chapters behind. So we had to sit there and as he's reading it, he's got the paper and he's listening to it to make sure that I'm doing it right. And I took some liberties with how some scenes came off because I think the way he wrote it was a little not janky but jerky. So there were some places where commas should have been, and it's when you're editing your own book, I think you just missed a couple of things. But anyway, I took care of it.
Also, too, with something that sounds good you're reading in your mind
that sounds
versus
good reading
audible
is not good when it comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Right? It can be very stilted or trippy or something like that, and I would basically turn it around a little bit to make sure that it would flow in a scene, kind of thing. And that's what you're paid for. as an actor, right? So I'm reading this, and it's like, make sure it works. Thanks, Jarrell. Yeah. There's a link right there for John Van Stry's Portal of Infinity books. Champion for Hire, I believe, is the first one. Yes. The God Game is the second one, and I'm doing Of Temples and Trials, and hopefully I get to do more going forward.
Okay, I just want to interrupt here for a moment. So we've got, I did the base color in. Now I'm kind of going in trying to define things a little bit more, give a bit more structure to this. I'm going to change swabs. I want to go to a fresh swab because I don't want to get some dark colors in here. What I'm doing is I'm working the lights and I'm working the darks, and I'm trying to get, the kind of the turn of the figure here in here. So we're going to start pulling this through. And once again, I'm working pretty fast and loose. This is not like me trying to really crank out a masterpiece here tonight. No. This is like
this would be like a color study for a bigger piece.
Yeah, a really
something like this. You wouldn't believe the color studies and the drawings he did for the $1,000 thing he did for me almost a decade ago. He came over to my house, had me stand in my complete riding gear, took pictures of me all 360 degrees, my helmet, my gloves,
your bike,
my bike, everything, and then did pencil sketches of everything, and then did little color swabs of everything because my riding gear was black and red, and I looked like a bad OC at the time, but there you go. But because my bike was red and white, right, with some black in it, so riding gear had to match. Yeah, so he took all of that stuff. I mean, he's probably spent a good 2 months doing prep just before he got onto this piece that was this big.
And of course, you'd gone and taken me all those pictures of goodness sake, and we had to modify where the starting line was in the picture so things would work
so things would work for the thing.
Yeah, and had to run that all past you. Plus, there was in that picture there was 46 characters on the starting grid.
Yep. From mice all the way up to a bear, I think, was in that piece.
And of course they had your character and one of your characters.
One of my characters, Serena Zitos, back when I was drawing furry stuff.
Yep.
Back in the day. Yes, if you didn't know, I actually have nationally released art in a comic book. I did that once.
Yep.
Back in 1994, 95. So I was in, furlough number 5. I think.
Back when I was still in Antarctica at that point.
Yeah, still in Antarctica at that point in the single digits, and hit the beach 1995, which was a very long time ago. But yeah.
22 years ago.
Then I figured I couldn't draw fast enough to make a living at it, so I went and became a mechanic. Yep. Went straight from doing that to Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, 1995.
And then now you're building guitars and doing audio.
Now I'm building guitars and all kinds of stuff. In fact, I sold another one.
You did? Congrats.
I stopped at Guitar Showcase, which is a beautiful guitar store. If you're ever in San Jose, and you're a guitarist, you need to go to Guitar Showcase because they have one room which is an actual vault. They just picked up a guitar, which is a Martin D100, and the inlay in the back is the entire back of the guitar. It's $99,000. Well, it's a $99,000 guitar.
Well, they've also got historically famous
guitars.
Steve Miller's guitars.
Steve Miller guitars. They got Steve Miller stuff.
Santana.
But this whole room is a vault. It has a vault door which closes, and it's like this concrete is this thick.
Yep.
And it's he's probably got $15 million worth of guitars in this place. Just in that stuff, not in his inventory. That's just the classic guitars. So I stop in, and there's a guy named Jim who's behind the counter, and we're both about the same age. He has a daughter who's into MLP, so I bring in my little lunchbox guitars. I brought in my Sweet Apple Acres guitar, show off, and he loved it. He took some pictures for his daughter, right? She's like a sophomore at Baylor, and I told him, hey, we know each other. You give me deals here. She wants one of these, and she plays. So I'll give you a deal. What do you want? And he goes, oh, and he found out that our favorite character is Rarity. We have a Rarity tin. We can make that happen. So he said, oh, yeah, I want one. So I'm going to build him one, take it down there. So sold.
Hey.
We also have a new idea for a high end, just like the Sweet Apple Acres guitar. Not going to tell you about it yet. Me and Baron have put our heads together. about a new piece of artwork.
Yeah, that's gonna be one about seeing whether my
Yeah.
deadline schedules work in your favor.
Yeah, we're gonna see if I can squeeze that in.
Yeah, I've played the Sweet Apple Acres one, and it's actually, on its merits as an instrument, was pretty damn good.
Yeah, the guy who bought it was very happy, and he's a very good guitar player in the fandom. So yeah, so he's very, very happy with it.
Yeah, four-string cigar box guitars.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney plays one in the documentary Sound City.
Yes, he does. So I'm also building a 4-string for him for his birthday, which is going to happen soon after I get back from Japan. So I get to start building his, and then I might make it
have it on
my
the show
dad too, and we'll have that one on the show. But that one's going to be a real cigar box. I've got like 4 real cigar boxes down in the garage. We're going to build from a real cigar box.
Cool.
Yes, it's going to be
So cool.
Going to be cool.
And if I remember correctly, when you were back at BaronEngel, you actually had the president of Interplay.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm sitting there hawking my wares on Saturday, and this elderly gentleman shows up with this little girl who has a Pack Breakers Interplay shirt on, and he's just like gushing over these things. And he says, "Can you play?" So I play a little bit, and I made a video. He made a video of it and put it up. And he comes up and he shakes my hand. So, by the way, my name is X, and I own Interplay. No, you're not the president of Interplay. You own Interplay. What? So yeah, he says, "Well, do you need any more boxes?" I said, "Well, I just bought a case, at a nice price a couple months ago." He goes, "Bought? How they shipped them to you?" It's like, what? Oh, that could have saved me some money. But anyway, he said that, and I quote, "Target is buying up the last of his inventory of those particular boxes." So I think they're making new ones for next year. So hopefully we'll hit some new guitars for
And
next
maybe
year.
we'll have some for the movie.
Yes, maybe we'll have some for the movie. You never know. So, but one of his guys wants me to make one out of that really narrow Rainbow Dash tin, one of the first ones that came out. So he gave me one of those to do. So that one's on the bench getting ready to be built.
Coolness.
So.
All right. So folks here can see I've getting Glimmy here, kind of set up.
Yep. She's looking good.
That's our Glim Glam.
That's a Glimmy.
I'm going to kind of set this. I'm actually going to jump off this for a moment and go into we'll start working on her mane, then I'll come back to her body. I want to let this main surface kind of dry a little bit so I have a better idea what I'm working at color-wise here.
Let it stabilize, yeah.
That's stable. I don't know if I'll get any prototypes or funds. He has yet to contact me after BronyCon, so I'm not sure if he's going to send me any prototype tins or anything like that. I haven't actually contacted him, so I did give him my card and we did exchange some news, but he hasn't gotten back to me yet. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm building that one, a real cigar box. In fact, I brought up cigar boxes to it. It's like, which one do you want? He goes, that one. Okay. So we're gonna build that.
So now we're going to get on to Glimmy's mane.
Glimmy's mane.
Yay!
It's a lot of
A
colors.
couple of layers, yeah.
Oh yeah,
layers
we're getting
in
a
that
couple
one.
layers because it looks kind of weird right now. I know folks are kind of staring at this, going,
Why is there green in it?
Well, what's this color here? This isn't Glimmy's color. Don't worry, folks.
Don't worry about it.
It's all part of the show.
Part of the show. Trust me.
It's where the magic comes in.
Magic.
Yes.
He's a magician.
What I'm doing here is I'm just trying to get the base colors. I'm looking at Glimmy's. Oh, which this is an excellent piece of vector art. I'm gonna re-put the artist's name up. I got this. This is from DeviantArt. Amazing. Does some great vector work. But what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at the color underneath here, and this is a bit more reddish than these areas here, which are violet. That's why I did this more blue, and this is a bit more red. And I'm going to make this all even out by putting a bit of a bluer color over it, along with some Dahlia purple.
This is where knowing your color wheel as an artist comes in handy.
Well, also, like I say, I had an instructor in college at art school who really kind of emphasized the whole idea of looking into the color.
Yes.
Not looking at the surface color, looking down and kind of deconstructing in your head.
Color. Yes.
So we're going to start right down here. Okay, I can get this blocked before we go to our next break. All right.
So cool. I actually have an actual huge tin of Prismacolor pencils in my room that I bought when I lived in Nevada, which I used like 4 times, like all the colors. I should just donate them to you because they're just
I'll put them to good use, dude.
dust, collecting dust in my room. So
I'll put them to good use.
And maybe we'll do a special segment sometime where we'll make you do art. and we'll say, and Baron will sit there with a whip, like that.
Yeah.
And you can do a little bit of Baron's technique.
I'm terrible now. I used to be a decent artist, but I haven't actually drawn in a couple of years. I'm an indecent artist now. But yeah, I don't, no, I'm not a very good artist anymore. I can make things, that's what I do.
Well, it's one of the reasons why, like, that little thing I did yesterday of Apple Bloom doing acrobatics and gymnastics is every day. Every day I'm trying to at least do a minimum of 15 minutes to keep my, so I keep improving my skill.
Every day he's shuffling.
Yeah, because there's so many things I need to get better at.
Yeah. And that's just, you know what, I saw a tweet the other day where someone was complaining that a really good artist was basically poo-pooing their own stuff. And I said, look, great artists do that. That's how they become great. Because you may not see the flaw in their technique, but a great artist will see the flaw in their technique and go fix it, or work on it, or whatever.
Always striving to get better.
Always striving to get better. Because Baron, I have a 3-ring binder in my room.
Blackmail material.
Of blackmail material for this man.
Embarrassing stuff.
Embarrassing stuff that he used to do back in the early 90s. Early 90s. Think of these ponies with foreheads that did this. They look like Crichton from, what was that show?
That was
Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf Crichton. If you ever saw Crichton, that's what they looked like. Everything was a square head.
Yep.
It was really, really weird. It kind of worked, but it was really weird. But I have a whole 3-ring binder of that stuff in my room as a collection. But now he does this, and because he's worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. And now you say, well, these are really great and they're awesome, but at some point, Baron has been doing it for so long that he knows the little things. I mean, like on the guitars I built, that Sweet Up Lakers guitar I built, I know the mistakes I made on that thing. It looks gorgeous, but I know how to make it better.
Yes, I did go through a Cubist phase.
Yes, he went through a Cubist phase. He did.
Influenced by self-sliders and the Cadillac STS.
Yep.
I swear the Cadillac designers, when they did the original STS, did not know how to operate a French curve.
No.
Well,
they're trying to evoke a stealth fighter.
Yes, they were, and they were deliberately.
Yeah, well, that was because Cadillac's customers the average age of a Cadillac buyer was increasing by 11 months every year, which means that no young people were buying Cadillacs, and all Cadillac's customers were dying of old age.
Yes. Yeah. Sonny, what do I think about recent MLP episodes, Perfect Pair and Fame and Misfortune? The Perfect Pair is the perfect episode.
Yes, it is.
It is. There was nothing wrong with that episode at all. There's no way you can poke a hole in it. And if anybody does, they're just trying to find something to nitpick. That is probably one of the top 5, maybe 3 episodes of the entire freaking series so far. Yeah. All 7 seasons, bar none. I mean, Fame and Misfortune. I talked to M.A. Larson last weekend. I won't talk about what we talked about, but he will now never work on MLP again because of what happened with that episode. That's all I can really say. But you know what? I don't know whether it came down on high about we need to, tell these people to get a clue, and that was a really large clue bat. Trust me, people, that was a really large clue bat because I've seen everything that happened in an episode at a convention.
Yeah.
Because there are people that won't back off, that won't enjoy the episodes for what they are and try to overanalyze and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like,
enjoy the magic of something wonderful being given to you.
I've said it on and on and on from my own show to every time I'm on here. My Little Pony is not freaking Ben-Hur. It's really nice. Sometimes it's better than it should be, but it's a really good kids show that you should enjoy for what it is. If you want to put your own, thing on it, then you're going to be disappointed at times. Enjoy it for what it is. If it's better than it needs to be, awesome. If it's good, great. If they step back every now and then, season 6, it happens. It's TV. Be happy with it. Just be happy that it's still here.
Yep.
We've got 8 seasons. We are guaranteed an 8th season. They haven't said anything about a 9th season, have they? No.
Nothing official.
We've got a movie. We've got 8 seasons. I know for a fact, I've talked to Daniel Ingram, the music for season 8 is done. Over.
Yep.
Done. At no point did he say anything about season 9 last weekend. Didn't say a word.
They probably don't know yet.
They probably don't know yet because they don't know if it's, after the movie's popularity, if they're going to get a rush of new people, which I hope, we all should hope, that season 8 is still going to continue to be,
Buy the
merchandise. If you love the show and you want the show to be made, buy merch.
And buy the official merch.
Buy the official merch.
Not
okay?
the Hot Topic stuff
Yes,
or any stuff.
not the Hot Topic stuff. Buy official merch. Go down to Target. Go down to Walmart. Even if you don't like it, if you got a few bucks to buy a piece, take it down to your local children's hospital or collect it all up and donate it to Toys for Tots.
Yeah,
at
that was
the end of the
excellent.
year.
Toys for Tots coming up.
Yeah, if you're
Toys
on
for Tots is coming up.
If you're on iTunes, buy a season pass.
Buy a season pass on iTunes. Buy the music on Apple iTunes. Buy a $7 trinket and donate it at Christmas time. Buy the merch because that's what's keeping your favorite show on the air.
And actually, the merch is even more important than buying the season pass because it's how their sales of toys go that decides on where that stays alive.
Enthralled with Pirate Ponies. I want all of it. I'm going down to Walmart and picking it up. I don't care. I don't have any place to put it. I don't care. I want it. So the $50 floating Rainbow Dash pirate ship, I'm going to buy it. I might hang it from the ceiling. I don't know. But I'm going to go buy it because I want it. Because that's awesome. I've already got the Twilight Sparkle. I've already got the Applejack. Yeah, I've already got the Applejack. So I'm going to get the Pinky. I haven't seen the Fluttershy yet. But I'm going to get all the pirate stuff because it's freaking awesome. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
I hopefully they have more pirates than sea ponies.
I want to interrupt here for a moment. I'm going in here and I'm fixing. This is one of the things that is a problem with tonight. I'll be able to make this work and everything.
Sweat bloom?
Not a sweat bloom. It's gotten warm enough under here with the lights and everything. I've had a little piece of dark pigment actually melt itself to the working surface. So I'm going to have to work around that when it comes time to doing the blending.
Yeah, can that be picked up with like a X-Acto? Or?
Yeah, if you have an X-Acto knife, I might be able to lift it.
You know what? There's one on me.
I might be able to lift it off with that. I might be
one on my
able
desk.
to be able to carefully scrape it because there is
Don't ask me why I have an X-Acto blade on my desk. Just don't.
There's a technique you can do in colored pencil, or called a scratching technique, and I may be able to scratch that
Scratch
off.
that sucker right off there.
We'll have to see. In the meantime, I'm going to work on some of Gloomy's main here because I got to keep moving along here because
Ognimod? All kids love log.
log, it's big,
It's heavy, it's wood. It's log, it's log. It's better than bad, it's good. Everyone
Criminy,
wants a
we
log.
actually wasted brain cells.
I know. Isn't it great? From Blammo.
Yeah, of course.
Do I use the shave? No, I don't use the shave. I don't use the shave.
So I have to ask, since I know you're a big fan of her.
Yes.
What did you think of the Anthro Rainbow Dash piece I did recently?
Oh, the one her flying on the rocket?
On the bomb, yeah.
Oh, it was so cool.
I'm waiting to see
cool.
that. I want to see if that ends up being a
It
tattoo.
needs a fresh blade.
Okay.
Let's see if I got one here.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I love that one. And almost anything Rainbow Dash that you do with her in a Wonderbolts costume, I would go broke if I didn't actually, have restraint, which sometimes I don't. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Because I do have a number of his pieces right now. I've got a nice, the big one with on Canterlot Mountain on the side of the hill with
Cogs.
With cogs on the
Cruising
chopper.
Camelot.
Cruising Canterlot. It's on my wall in that room over there.
Yeah, my neighbor in my dreamscape.
Yes.
She's the lives closest to our little cottage.
Yep. Oh, by the way, how's my visiting
Sorry.
visa working?
Patina actually got back to me on that recently.
Did she?
She's petitioned your case to the Canterlot court. No luck so far.
Darn it. There's got to be something that I do that that Equestria needs. I can do blacksmithing.
Yeah.
I can work on motors.
Yeah.
Right?
H1B.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need H1B to Equestria. If they need me to fill out that form again, I can do it. Tell Patina to ship me that form again.
Well, she's trying, and she's trying to make a case that you're not, that it's you coming of your own free will, not
Yes.
any kind of persuasion or
No.
tweaking or anything like that.
Not gonna be trouble like
I'm not going to be trouble. Heck no. I'm not going to be any trouble. I just want to learn how to do all the steam engine stuff. Cogs could be my, I could be an apprentice to Cogs.
Yep.
I can do all that stuff. I just want to come in and fix stuff.
Well, then I know you have an interest in carousel.
Yeah, well, who wouldn't have an interest in carousel? But there you go.
All right, let's blend out
Friends.
that right there.
Friendship is magic.
Friendship with benefits is magic.
And that really is a thing, guys, because I wouldn't have gone to Vancouver last weekend if Screwball hadn't been going. I actually rode my motorcycle up there to surprise him because I hadn't seen him in 2 years. I was like, he's going to be close enough that I can go. I've got time. I've got money. Bucket, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up there. I went and spent time with Screwy. It was great. That first few minutes we saw each other after a couple of years, I almost freaking cried. It was really cool. It was really great, and friendship is magic. It is. Trust me. So.
Okay.
Yes, H1B, Horse One Brony.
Do we have a surgical tool here? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I can make this work.
Yes.
A little bit bigger than normal, but okay. What we're going to try and do here
Yes.
is, in fact, maybe if Lance can actually get a zoom
Let's see.
in.
Is this a zoomer?
Yeah, let's see. So go on to Drawcam and click on property. Drawcam.
While they're playing around with that, I'm
Where's
going to keep
Draw?
working doing blending here because I got
a certain amount of
time.
Let's see. It says Drawcam.
I'll kind of keep the
Right-click.
knife kind of pointing out where we're going to need to be working.
Right-click.
Props.
Properties.
Move that out of your way. Okay, and then click down here on configure video.
Configure video.
Move that out over
Move
here.
that over here.
Zoom and move.
Got it. Zooming.
Okay, you zoomed in.
Zoom. Getting there. Getting there. Getting there. Getting there. Getting there. Getting
There
there.
you go.
Boink. Oop, wrong way. Because it's backwards. There we
Right,
go.
So you can move it in the direction you want the stuff to actually.
There you go, buddy.
Okay.
You are
all
zoomed.
right. Okay, what we're going to try to do here is I'm going to sweep away any other little crumbs. I got this little spot right here. What I'm going to try, okay, here's an example of how warm it is tonight. I don't know if you can see this here in my hand, but I've got blue pigment coming up. So it is toasty even with the AC running here. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to go in with this knife and I'm going to try to just gently scrape off. And I'm not working very hard. I'm trying not to cut the paper. I'm just trying to scrape off that little bit of pigment. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to feel how the knife is biting. And yes, this can be very,
Yes. Fiddly.
yes.
It is
okay.
art, this is art surgery. He's a surgeon right now, trying to get that
it's
little piece of color out of there.
It's a little bit lighter now than it was before. I'm not going to get this back completely to 100% because that would mean tearing the paper, and I don't want to do
We
that.
don't want to tear the paper. We just want to get that dark color off the light.
So that when I go back into the green, this will be, I can blend this. Okay, there we go. I think that's about as good as I'll get that.
Yeah. There we
All
go.
right. So I'm going to get back there. I'm going to set your tool over here.
Yep.
I haven't had a
Go
chance
right
to
ahead.
close it. Just be
There
careful
you
there.
go.
Let's put the lid on that. All right. Now we're going to go to the greens and pull this part into it. All right. So,
There we go. Right back where we started.
okay. Now here's the spot where I've been using all Prismacolor color pencils tonight. I'm going to make one exception here, and I'm going to use an English brand. I'm going to use Derwent Studio
too far
because
out.
their turquoise green is just about the right color for Glimmy's
There we go.
main.
Let me get rid
I'm
of
going to
this.
set this right
And we're
here.
back where we
Yes,
started.
Funzai said green.
Green. Greens. Yes.
We're going to start working that in here.
Seeing as I'm sitting here, does anybody have a question for me while we're watching Baron create magic?
And we're going to go back in with a little bit. This is what they call true green,
True green. Not phthalo green.
not phthalo green, not Kelly green.
Not Kelly green. Not a
There's no giggles in it.
Illusorin crystal. Illusorin green.
Yeah, it's not giggling, so it can't be Kelly.
Oh, it's sponsor time.
It's just about.
Hmm?
It's just about.
It's just about sponsor time.
All right, so.
So
over
what do I do?
here,
Dusty's
this is
learning how to be a
make sure you
technician
go
tonight,
to File
folks.
Overlay UA and click on the eyeball thing,
Eyeball
And don't hit the
Boink.
auto self-destruct.
right there. And we get rid of this one.
and then clear
Boink.
the overlay.
clear that overlay. And we are sponsored by University Art. That's right. If you want university art, you can go to the university and get art. No, they are a really great art store. When Baron was working there, I got all of my things that I had him do. Any of the things I bought, I would go straight to him, and they would basically mat and frame everything. I've spent a lot of money framing stuff there, but I always get quality stuff. When I was buying all of my art tools, I would go there. In fact, a beautiful black magic pencil that both he and I love was the only place you could get it when it was still being made.
Yeah, no more.
No more. Beautiful pencil.
Rumors are that they might just possibly bring them back, but it's...
It was like drawing with butter.
Yep.
It was so good. I don't know what they did to the lead, but wow.
Yeah, part of the problem. That was part of the problem was the manufacturing of those was very, very tricky, and it got to be bean counters.
Yep. But yeah, beautiful
Triumph.
stuff there. You can get individual colors. You can get spray paints. You can get giant canvases, all kinds of stuff. You can get Bob Ross stuff there, I think. No, you
can't get.
Okay, you can't get Bob Ross stuff there. But
You can't get
everything.
Bob.
Everything that Bob Ross used, you can get there, just not Bob Ross branded. They have art. They have art festivals. They've got lessons. They've got all kinds of stuff. University Art, the place to go in San Jose for your art tools.
And they're also in Sacramento and in their main headquarters in Redwood City.
That's true.
All right.
I should do a voiceover for them. I should.
Yeah, you might want to. I want to contact them.
Contact them and say, hey, do you need a voiceover? Got a guy for you. Right there. University Art, your place.
Your one stop
for
art supplies. Okay, what time are we looking at? Okay, we have 5 minutes for our next break.
5 minutes to next break. Radio ad win. Yeah, I'd love to do radio ads. Are you kidding me? That's so much fun.
All right. So we're switching colors now again. So once again, I want to be careful. Make sure I
Yes.
don't get any.
But look how that blue turned into purple, people. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous purple mane.
Purple
mane, purple mane.
Okay, there we go. All right. Now away we go. So I'm playing very fast and loose, but
Has my pony Sona terrorized any other analysts or reviewers lately? No, it hasn't. That you know of. But yeah, we're if anybody has seen Questia 3 just popped up on Anthony C's channel, so that's the end of that 3 arc story. Of course, I did do some work for the Fallout Equestria people, which is supposed to be coming out middle of the month. They've contacted me again to do another character for a recording that'll probably come out in December. They haven't sent me the script yet, but I'm going to be doing that. And of course, the TF2 guys are still doing stuff. They haven't gotten back to me, so I'm not sure. I'm not going to be in anything that's going to come out recently in the next month or so. But they haven't gotten back to me on what they want to do with the character yet. So still thinking about that. And of course, I did some stuff with Silverquill, which he still hasn't released. So I don't know what he's doing with that. But we did that a while ago. I'm going to have to beat him and say, what's going on there?
¿Qué pasa?
Yeah, ¿qué pasa? What's going on? Very busy bird. He's actually on a 2-week vacation overseas. I think he's in Poland right now or something like that. But he's gone for a while. But yeah, we had a great time at BaronEngel. Got stuck in the rain that came down on Saturday night. We almost didn't make it back to our almost didn't make it back to our panel at 8:30. I mean, it stopped raining right at 8 o'clock, and we had to run before it started raining again back to the convention center to make it for our panel at 8:30.
Where were you having dinner, just out of curiosity, when it came
it was
down?
the Italian place right
Uno?
there downtown.
At Uno?
Yeah.
Okay, we had dinner at the same place. We probably were
Yeah,
within
caught in
like
the same place.
Yeah, a few feet away from each other.
So,
yeah, that was impressive.
it was an impressive amount. There was so much water came down that it blew one of the manhole covers out of the street. Boom, blew it out.
I just love the fact
Crazy.
people just kind of came out, kind of went out to breaks in traffic, pushed it back into place, and just went on their way. Like, it's Baltimore. It happens.
It's Baltimore, it happens. Not the worst thing that's ever happened to Baltimore. Wink, wink,
All
no,
right.
Yeah,
Let's
the rain
start
was a
with-
pain, wasn't it?
Okay. We're going to need a plan here. We're going to switch out here pretty quick so we can do our
Okay.
I'll
break.
teach you to push the buttons.
Okay.
Push the buttons.
Don't push the buttons yet, because that goes directly into there.
Yeah.
Okay, not pushing the buttons yet.
Yeah.
And not yet, but...
Push the button, Frank.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Coming up on the break time. So, Look at all that wonderful color going in there.
Yeah, consider we started with a clean slate of paper here at the start of the stream.
Clean slate. Look at all this beautiful color.
We're going to try to get her tail in, and we'll try to get her eyes in, hooves in. I don't know if I'll be able to get to her cutie mark before the end of the stream, but we'll finish that up like tomorrow.
Yeah.
In the studio.
And then this too will be for sale.
Yes, it will.
Or maybe I might donate this like to some charity auction at some con. If I go down to Equal-A or something, I may throw it in the charity auction down there.
And by the way, the charity auction, you guys had the charity auction at BaronEngel was off the chain. Oh my God, they stepped up their game. We had 2 giant TVs in front of us, me and Foley. It had a list of everything that was coming up, what it was going for, what we sold it for. We had a running tally up on the big board, running tally. By the end of it, they had, you know, flying Dusty Cat heads all over the freaking thing whenever we hit another $1,000. It was great. We shaved Ian James Corlett's beard for X amount of money, but somebody at BaronEngel did not bring a trimmer. No trimmers, no nothing. I was like, how are we supposed to do this now? Oh, we'll do it at closing ceremonies. Okay. So we had like $33,000 in change, you know, and I told people, hey, we need, you know, $918 to make $34,000. This was at closing ceremonies. I'm sure we can get that. Everybody ran to the front. Everybody got out of their chairs, ran to the front, was throwing money. This one security guard in the front looks over his shoulder at me. It's like, what did you do to me? It's like, dude, just take the money. So people are just giving him change. And it's like, no, no change, just bills, no change, just bills. So they have all this money and they're going back to count it. And we did the thing with Ian and shaved it. We're in the back. They're doing their closing ceremony thing. We find out we're $10 short of $34,000. $10 short. So Fold Papers whips out his wallet, 2 5s, puts them in my hand and says, there, we're done. It's like, awesome. So I go out on stage and I tell everybody, hey, we were $10 short from $34,000. And everybody starts getting up. I go, no, 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 no. I got it right here. $34,000.07. Because they counted up the change that came in.
All right,
So
dude.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's time to push the button, sir.
Push the button, Frank.
So it says Maine.
Maine. All right.
Here comes this.
Okay.
Wow. Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Isn't that awesome?
So we are going to take our last break.
Last break.
5 minutes,
5 minutes.
and then we're back.
And we're back. Intermission.
Mute intermission. And we are indeed back.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, hello.
Yes, to answer the question, generic, yeah, if you go to my DeviantArt gallery, go to the General Anthro, you should find all the development art and the final picture for Dusty's motorcycle racing picture. You should find all there. And I happened to see a name pop up there in the chat. Hello, Toxic. Glad you could tune in tonight.
Hiya.
Hiya. All right, so we are last hour.
Yeah, we're on the final approach to the runway.
Yep.
Got the ILS beacon locked in, so.
Let's get back to this and see if I can get Glimmy done.
Yeah, and I'm going to be adjusting the colors just a little bit because so it looks like the camera was a little dark on the previous one there. So
we're going to jump right back in and get to work. Switch glasses.
And I will click on this. Yeah, that's a little bit dark, so I will go back to here.
All right.
And I will configure video, and I will go to advanced settings because advanced is better than not advanced. And back off of the contrast just a little.
All right.
And maybe just a little bit more gain.
I'm putting this paper towel down because I've been noticing it is warm enough still that I'm picking up pigment on my hand, so I don't want to put some blue down in the wrong place.
You put yourself into your art. There we go. That looks about right, at least on this monitor. All right. So, yep, went with Show Glimmy.
Yep.
There we go.
This is the first time I've done a color piece of Glimmy. I've only done a couple black and whites. She's not a character showing up in my Dreamscape yet. We're heading towards Tyrek.
Let's see.
Which is going to be interesting.
Need to see my ugly mug. So I will do that.
Switch. Sharpen. Right.
Urban beautification. There we Glim glam, stupid horse has grown on me. yeah, she, I think they did a pretty good job with actually having a believable story arc for her.
Yep.
Yeah, as in her initial reformation was not because somebody pulled some friendship magic out of Deus Ex Machina, but she was talked into it and changed because she saw the consequences of her actions. Yeah, I mean, even though Twilight is the princess of magic, or the element of magic, she got fought to a standstill.
Yep.
By Glimmy, So yeah, it had to be by reason, and she's had a believable arc. I buy it.
And besides that, pairing her up with Trixie, they make a great duo.
Yeah, that's true. Now, Toxic, I had a perm once, way back in college, when Cindy talked me into it. Never again. I looked like a used Q-tip. It was awful. Now, I looked like, what's his face from Greatest American Hero?
Oh, Hinckley?
Yeah.
This guy doing some edge lines, blocking her in a little bit better because she was getting kind of. Stupid, sexy.
I'm an
glamders.
engineer. I solve problems.
Stupid, sexy glamders. All right, and we need some white here. And we still need
She's spontaneous, impulsive, borderline reckless, the type of girl who'll mess up your life. You kind of person you actually might meet sometime. Yeah.
Kind of sounds like Patina sometimes.
Patina versus Glim Glam, best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that'll be interesting when that happens. Of course, we're getting to a point where the royal wedding is going to be a thing, and it gets very interesting when Patina meets Chrysalis.
Yeah. Yeah.
That gets very, 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 very exciting.
Yeah. Prowl actually has a pretty good observation there that that Glimmy's cutie mark and the curl of her mane and the colors are actually matching now.
Yes, they are. It's true.
That's true.
Good observation.
And then her previous style echoed the equal sign.
Yeah, then as Cat's Paw pointed out, the previous hairstyle kind of matched equal sign.
Let's see. Actually, I need to adjust the color because her hair is appearing blue, and I need some red in that. Let's see how good a job the Logitech camera can do when I mess with the white balance. White balance. That's more purple, and okay, that's looking better. That's better. Oh, that's better. Okay, now I'm going to pull back on the
Getting
contrast.
better, getting better. Okay.
Some more gain. There we go.
All right.
That actually is looking pretty good, at least on this monitor. The monitor I'm using here is one of the Dell monitors. Dell actually makes some really nice monitors, or has made for them. I'm pretty sure they don't manufacture themselves. But that's pretty good.
Kind of like the old Apple CRTs being made by Sony.
Yeah. There's only so many people that make those kind of things.
Yeah, they're not easy to do.
Oh no. The old CRTs. I mean, there's like, if nothing else, was the problem with like lead in the glass and stuff like that you had to manage. But yeah, it was a major undertaking. Same thing for flat panels.
Yeah, I remember when David Patterson, one of my friends from college, his employer bought him a 30-inch Sony CRT monitor. And his story about the 2 nice men from UPS that carried that thing up the stairs to his apartment.
Yeah, those things, the big ones, like the 35-inch, the front glass was over an inch thick.
Yeah.
It needed to be to not collapse.
Yeah, I helped him move that thing once. That was it. After that, it's like, let's hire a moving service next time if you're going to move this thing. Because we're going to destroy it elsewise.
Have Maud and Trixie met on screen yet? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
It would be an interesting pairing, but yeah.
Yes. Moxie.
There you go. Have you met Maud in your dream?
Yes, I've met Maud. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Toxic wants to know what the best Glimmy episode is. It's hard to say because, frankly, I like most of the episodes she's in. You know, say some people hate her because they don't like change. Say, oh no, it's the main 7 instead of main 6. Well, yeah, that's true. Good. I'm happy with that.
If it's a good story, who cares? Next.
I liked her standing up to Twilight in every little thing she does as magic. I liked her stepping up in the season 6 finale pair.
Yes.
And I liked how she dealt with the Royals in
Royal Problem.
Royal Problem. Yeah. Say somebody who is not afraid to speak truth to power.
Well, also too, I liked how she worked with Maud, and how with Trixie. But in fact, she's still learning this whole friendship thing. It's not like instantly throw a switch and I'm suddenly wise and all this stuff. She's got a learning curve. She's still trying to, and she falls back on her old habits, which is something people really do. So it's nice seeing her struggle with that. Same with Trixie. And of course, Trixie's just one of those people I think is just going to be annoying at times. You may be an okay person, but sometimes you just want to punch her.
Yep. So, Toxic says all the absolute classic computers and what you've owned way back in the day, Apple, etc. The first computer that I actually owned was an Apple II Plus clone. Way back in the day, we're talking like 1981 here. Never owned anything from Commodore.
I'm kind of a late arriver at the scene. My first computer was Apple 6100 Power Mac, 60 megahertz.
Yep.
Of a whopping 32 megs of RAM and a 250 megabyte hard drive.
Yeah. Why is Pony wet, Harvey? Favorites? You got any favorite Spike episodes?
Spike's a good. They always, at least so far, it's been more as a supporting character than as a main.
Right. The episodes where he stars tend to portray him as a fool.
Right.
And I don't like those quite as much. But in, again, having a senior moment here, Celestial Advice, where he's, just sort of, poking Twilight about, okay, panic in 3, 2, 1, I like the little bits that he's a good supporting character.
Yeah.
But the writers just don't know how to make him have a good episode as a main character. It just seems that way to me.
I liked him in the supporting role in Lesson 0, where he was kind of the voice of reason for Twilight when she was really kind of going off the deep end.
Yes, Larsis, you do need to commission a color piece from Baron. Yes, you do.
I am available. I say, this is me just kind of demonstrating some technique. This is me just kind of throwing something at the wall and seeing what stickens tonight. So,
yep. My first computer had 48K of memory. That was the Apple II Plus.
Yep. I need to get back to this back tail here and start getting this thing done. Yeah,
Gauntlet of Fire wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a more recent Spike episode, but it is still under no spoilers. So, we're not ready to talk about that. 2 weeks from now, we can.
Yes. Extreme. You need brush.
You had to replace the chips on the motherboard directly. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Why is the red in her tail? Because that is an underlying color. You will see the magic. There's also red under her mane.
Yeah, right here. You can't see it anymore, but I've blended it out. And that will all go away in just a little bit. All
See you later, Mr. Sam.
Engineer Sam heading out for the evening?
Yeah.
All right, thanks for dropping by. See you in a couple.
Yeah, let's see. Making a quick check through to see if we have any new folks arrived. Of course, of course, Horse is back, of course.
Yes.
Let's see. But we've seen Horse before, I think.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Horse is regular now.
Yeah, that's excellent. Let's see.
Here, pull this through. Pull this through.
Stickins, you can't make up words. That's impossible. No, come on. It's a perfectly frumulous word. The bug chips, yeah, back when you had to buy static memory for your optional level 2 cache, yeah.
I also remember when you had to buy synchronized memory for Macs, you had to all be the same matching serial number,
Oh, yeah.
or it wouldn't work right. Oh, I'm so glad we're behind those days. Are behind us.
Yeah. Well, Macs are they still are very picky about timing, but there's nothing proprietary about that. It's just, get these.
Yeah. And of course, nowadays you don't generally get underneath the hood anyways.
Oh, you are correct. That is the glimmiest glam. Holy crap. That's a big
Oh,
glam.
yes. I actually went down the escalator behind that glam. And boy, did it stop traffic.
Yeah, that is a total life size and then a little bit larger glam.
Yeah. And probably almost weighed as much as Glimmy did because the person was really seemed to be working to carry that thing.
Let's see here.
Okay, let's put the lid on. I'm not going to be using the solvent for a few minutes here, so lid on so we're not inhaling the fumes.
Let's see. I'm going to power cycle that.
Oh, hydration. We need it. Okay.
All right. Nezumi M sword. Yes, it's what type of sword is it? Yeah. So you see, horse, how those how having the base color there of the lighter, intense, burgundy fuchsia there is helping to pull forward the, and build up the purple. Yeah.
I'm trying to create a separation so that there's this violet part and there's this more purple part in her mane, and so that's what's going to be the reason why I have that there.
Toxic. I used to could speed cube in under a minute. Because I was such a nerd. I know what changed. So I'm going to mess with the color just a little bit more on the drawing cam to pull out some of the subtleties. Maybe give Baron's hand a little bit of jaundice.
I always like having...
So we're going to. So our judgment is going to be jaundice because we like to deliver. Oh, okay.
And that's Carrot One, performing every night live at the Sands.
I know where to bring the. I see where to bring the Rotten Tomatoes to. A little more gain.
Are we actually gaining? Oh wow!
Yeah, we're
cool.
gaining. Yeah.
I thought we were falling behind.
Maybe push down the contrast ever so slight. No, more contrast, more.
Okay, let's see here. I need my black grape, and I need to shove that in the sharpener.
Let's see.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Now let's make sure that's darker so we can separate that out from the other.
The exposure is probably going to make it go pop too much, but we'll see. Yeah, way too much. Okay, so let's just a touch more gain. There we go. All right, we'll use that. Okay. Let's see here.
All right.
Yeah, the thing about speed cubing Toxic, at least the way that I learned, this is way back in the day, was basically instead of going straight to the end, which some of the really good people can do now, they can sort of solve it in their head. It was always just move one square at a time, one cube at a time, while preserving everything else, and you just work your way down in like layers.
Is this a speed Rubik's cubing?
Yep, speed cubing.
I was horrible at Rubik's cubes.
I could cube in under a minute. That was good. Yeah. Of course, that was back in 1980. So.
Another time, another place. All right, and where's that white? I need that white. I need to pull some white through here. Yes, I am flying here, folks. I have about half an hour, and I want to see if I can get her eyes in and her hooves in. I won't be able to get her cutie mark in. I'll finish that up when I get home.
In Soviet Russia, Tetris, drop you.
Orca, 5.2 would be far more than even Sarbomba. I think that number is going to be revised down.
And you. I need some contrast. Down here.
Holy crap, Toxic. Somebody apparently just solved a cube in under 5 seconds.
Okay, there's that.
All right.
That.
And I'm going to take this opportunity to do our last duty of the evening.
He said duty.
Duty. So, do. All right, so I want to say thank you to University Art for sponsoring Baron and giving him all kinds of art supplies and all that good stuff.
Yep.
And for employing him for 20 years.
Putting up with me for 20 years.
Yeah, there you go. University Art is a high-end art supplies and framing and art instruction shop that has outlets in San Jose and Redwood City and Sacramento, California. They have handled original Nobel Prize Award letters in their framing shop. They've handled Picassos. They have handled Rembrandts. They are hardcore about their museum quality framing. Now, I get all my stuff done there. Dusty gets all his framing done there. It is the place to go.
Oh, heck, Cat's Paw's had some framing done there.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So again, if you need art supplies, if you want to attend workshops, etc., if you just want to see a place that's say that all the Uber artists go to, that would be University Art. And thank you to them.
Yep. At the end of this month, we're going to have one of the employees on the
Yep, we're going to have Jeff, who used to be your manager, was it?
assistant manager. Yep.
Assistant manager, yeah.
We're doing Egyptian tomb painting techniques.
Absolutely. So he's going to be in the hot seat.
Yep, and he's used to it. He teaches at the Triton Museums regularly and does workshops, so he's quite familiar with being on camera and being.
Yep. He knows how to do it.
Yep.
Is he going to do the full 4 hours or just in a couple of hours?
He'll be on full, just like Jaya, more or less.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because trust me, he can talk to you for 4 hours about Egyptian art. He loves it. He loves it. He also loves crummy sci-fi channel movies and some of the old Hammer films and everything like that. He has a fine collection. Halloween at University Art, we didn't call it Halloween, we called it Jeff Day. And every year he paints a new portrait from one of the classic horror movies and adds it to this collection he has, like this gallery he sets up in his downstairs. So when you come and get candy at his place, after you've got to the fog machine and the zombies that pop up out of the lawn and everything, you've got this gallery of paintings he's done of classic horror movie monsters.
Nice.
Yeah, he's whole hog.
Yeah, actually, there's one of the folks that we know. You remember Lex Nakashima?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He is. I don't know if he's still doing it, but what he used to do was make direct-to-video. Just horror and dead teenager or slasher films.
Yep.
Direct to DVD. And there's a small but intensely loyal market of people that collect every damn one of these they can get their hands on.
Yep.
And he used to make 2 a year. And he would put in, X many thousands of dollars and get about double that back every single time. You don't have to have $1 billion blockbuster to make money in Hollywood. but there's a lot of people that don't believe that.
Yep. Is that to set your expectations? Okay, we're going to say that tail for right now is good enough that I can step away from it and work on her eyes. Work on her eyes, work on her mouth. We're going to we're going to see if we can get this actually done before 9:30. At least it's close enough so I can say, hey,
there you
can
go.
tell it's Glim Glam.
Yeah. Does that mean no more zombie eyes? Yeah.
No more zombie eyes, right? She'll look a lot better when she gets this. Now she has kind of these,
Zombie eyes and and bleach feet. Yeah.
yeah, she's got this
Yeah.
blue violet lake and periwinkle eyes. So unfortunately, I brought the right colors to do that.
Yep. So Toxic curious about best board game or card game out there for us there, and he's talking about games that ruin friendships. That would be Diplomacy. Diplomacy will trigger mass murder. Now, I don't know. I'm very interested in a lot of the modern board games. I just haven't had a chance to play as many as I might like.
I have to admit, the one that they had on tabletop a while ago, the firefighter one.
That was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's an interesting cooperative game.
Yeah.
And okay, that helps right there. Now we need to do the next thing. We gotta get some shadow underneath her eyelids, or else why she's gonna have that wacky 1,000-yard stare look, which is no good. So let's get out a 50% warm gray and another pencil extender. Lock that in. Let's go ahead and put some shadows underneath here.
I'm gonna zoom in on that. Eyeball cam.
Now we have that. Now I need a little bit more further down, a bit more shadow than that, but I need a lighter color, so we're going to go for a 30% warm gray.
Yeah. Now, for family style game, Settlers of Catan is a classic for a reason, so is Ticket to Ride. Card games, God, Cards Against Humanity, it's hard to beat that. It gave birth to an entire huge genre, and it's got no sign of quitting.
Nope. Okay, let's see here. Now, what I need to do, if I've got the right color, I'm going to break from tradition. I'm actually going to go a little bit more like how the movie is going to do it, and we're not going to do Glimmy's mouth quite with the orange tongue and the fuchsia gums. We're going to go something a little bit more plausible. So,
yep. Unless she's been gargling, gargling bleach. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably. I've got a copy of Betrayal on the House on the Hill myself. I've only got to play it twice, but good game. Very complex though. Yeah. Mice and Magic is quite good too for the RPG in a box type.
Put a little bit of peach underneath there, kind of lower eyelid. Let's see here now. I need some shadow inside the mouth.
Blah.
So we're going to grab some brown sienna and some raw dark umber. Then now I'm done here. I'm going to take a moment and bust my area because, man almighty, am I getting things piled up on my work area.
Yep.
Usually I wouldn't let it get quite this clogged at home in the studio, but we are running on the clock.
Yeah. All the MLP Villa needs to do to end Equestria is have the main 6 play Diplomacy. Or Friendship Isn't Magic.
I thought the one bit of fanfic that someone did where it was a sleepover at Pinky's place, and Sunset brings Cards Against Humanity, and the author did a really great job of.
Did he actually use the actual cards?
In some cases, yes. In some cases, he did create a couple of new cards.
Yeah. Well, I've got something I did, Cards Against Ponanity, or excuse me, Cards Against Ponanity, which is not the same as Cards Against Equestria.
Nope.
Which is somebody else did that. Now, there's exactly 2 copies of Cards Against Ponanity out there.
Okay, now we need.
I gave one to Mitch because Mitch wanted it.
Of course.
Well, he would.
I got him to autograph. I did 2. It's 100% pony cards. It's not like just stuff you throw into the regular ones. Like no, 100% pony cards. I got about 200 different cards. And one of the white cards was the horrifying feeling of Mitch Larson's beard stubble grated slowly across your belly, and the Other one was The One Thing That Mitch Larson Will Not Sign. He autographed both, by the way.
Of course, because he's Larson. Okay, and I need some raw umber into this because I don't want her hooves to be too.
But as far as classic Avalon Hill style war games, I liked Richthofen's War.
I have that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Panzer Blitz.
What am I looking for? What am I thinking?
I had a copy of Third Reich, but oh my God, 64-page rule book of like 7-point type. Holy crap.
This is a game of discovery. You'll spend more time with your friends trying to figure out what the rules actually mean.
That's kind of no. I just made 2 copies. I always take a copy with me to conventions, and as long as the convention doesn't have a no naughty material, naughty material in public, because it's pretty, it was pretty close. I mean, we have answers like something made of meat in the size of 3 Coke cans stacked on top of each other. Of course, we're talking about salami, right?
Yeah.
But
Okay, I'll use some dark. Yes.
yeah,
Some black grape. Incorporate that into the. I'm muttering to myself, yes, folks. Yes, I am. I will do this occasionally
Somebody
when
does.
I'm really crunching color theory in my head at the moment here.
oh, for old peach tongue there.
Oh no, I already got past that. I'm working on our hooves.
Oh, I need to zoom back out then, don't I?
Yes. Yes, yes. Oh, I should have told you that.
Yeah, not to worry.
Okay, so we need that, and I have a
Okay,
color.
foot cam.
I have had a color go Elvis on me. Where did it wander to? This is why usually I'll match my workspace a little bit better. Come on, where'd you go to? Don't be shy.
Aha.
Don't be shy. Okay, we're gonna do a convert and go back to our set. Grab from there because I know the color's in there and I don't have time to keep hunting for it. That's what I need right there. Okay, well, that's good. We're back on target. Okay, did I just break that pencil? No, I didn't. Good. All right. All right, let's put some
There we go.
dark umber into that.
Yes, the Tank Vixens card game does exist.
All right, we need some black grape in here.
Mike Sagara and Paul Kidd. God, what a combination.
Yeah, that was something.
Space Pirates, Amazon Ninja Cat Girls, aka Spank. Just reading the names, I can feel my mental age regressing to 14. Well, you're in good company.
Yep.
Agni, all of these things are real games, yeah.
Yep. We are not simply inventing stuff to mess with people's minds.
Yeah.
We do that with our stuff. We'll give her some
It's
black
a, it's a good plan for immortality. Keep reading. Stop when you hit 3. Nobody wants to be a zygote again.
There's that. You need to sharpen. Okay, there. That's enough. I can get into there, and clean that up. All right. There's that. And that's good enough for that. We need to fix that down there.
Mutter, mutter, mutter.
Yep.
How about Twilight Sparkle's Secret Ship Fic folder? It's fun, but I would not call it one of my favorites. Yeah, or not like all-time favorites.
A lot of that will depend on who you get for a playing team.
Yeah, well, see that, and after a while, all the cards. I mean, there's only so many mechanics they could use. So it's okay. This is cool art about this character, but it doesn't really extend the game.
Mm-hmm.
At least not the gameplay. Of course, the comments that will flow from it. That's another matter.
Yes. That's what I say. If you can get a good group of players together, it can be still a very, very fun game.
Yep. Yeah. Of all the villains in Equestria so far, which one truly posed the greatest risk?
Her.
Yeah. Well, Glimmy destroyed Equestria. Through all those time loops. We saw it on screen. She destroyed Equestria. Or did something that led to the. Again, I would guess at that point it would be the Wendigos completely destroyed everything or something like that. But as far as just raw menace, I would have to say Tyrek.
Yeah, but like I said, the thing about her that in the beginning of season 5 maybe was the fact that the other ones were kind of like doing it for themselves. Their Discord was completely amoral. Tyrek was just simply he wanted raw power. The thing that was creepy about Glim-Glam originally was she was doing it for everyone's good. She had a mission.
Yeah.
She was a zealot.
The difference between a zealot and a tyrant is that the tyrant will occasionally stop to enjoy their ill-gotten gains.
Right.
Zealots never sleep.
Yes. And the fact that she could steal talent, that would be one of those things that if creepy nightmare for me is waking up one day and for some reason I can't draw because someone's taken my ability away. So she really kind of pushed my buttons when I first saw her, and why I had such a hard time accepting her as a character back in. And I've got enough time. Darn it, I'm going to get these cutie marks done on her too. I'll still need to touch them up a little bit when I get home, but I want to.
Yeah.
We're going to finish this.
Yep.
Before we say goodbye tonight.
Yeah. So the thing is, Toxic, is that we actually got to see what would happen if each one of of various villains won.
Yeah.
Because again, Glimmy showed us. We saw what Nightmare Moon's world would be like, and it was dark and cold, but there wasn't like thousands of people dying. And again, her castle was styling. That was a good-looking castle.
Oh yeah, I plan on doing a picture of that so Earthpoint Creations can etch that on wood.
Right. Yeah. I mean, she was definitely a complete authoritarian, et cetera, but
she wanted to rule something. She didn't want to have a wasteland.
Yeah. We saw what would happen with Chrysalis. It would be bad. But again, we don't know what the fate of people changed, ponies changed by changelings is. Tyrek would say to me, he was just stripping the land of life. He was destroying everything. We only saw that very briefly in the possible Glim-Glams. But
in the same way with the Glim-Glam brothers, basically, or the Flim-Flam brothers, basically, kind of clear-cutting everything.
Yeah, but again, that doesn't mean that everybody is slaughtered.
No.
But we saw what happened. What the possibilities were, and if Glimmy kept doing what she was going to do, and it ended up with equestrian soil stripped to bedrock.
Yeah.
We don't know how it happened, but she let it happen.
Maybe she killed the world tree or something like that. We don't know.
Destroy the tree of harmony,
Yeah.
Or again the Wendigos. Finally strip the land.
Yeah.
I mean, Sombra wasn't even close. He wasn't even the same league.
No.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah, we did not see a Trixie or Orizo. But we saw a Trixie. The thing is, Trixie's so petty. All she did was inconvenience the heck out of Ponyville for a few days.
Yeah. I always.
She's just too small.
Yeah, I was left the impression that if she'd kept that amulet on, at some point she was just going to basically self-destruct.
Yep.
That would have been the end of her. She would have kind of burned herself out.
Yep. Butt tattoo complete.
Okay, I've still got 15 minutes. Woohoo!
Yeah, you got time to
tidy some things up here, make things look better.
Yeah. Give her bloodshot eyes because she's been token. Oh, wait a minute.
No, that's if I did a picture of Fluttershy Tree Hugger. Hey, I'm sorry. I could see Flutters sitting with a water pipe with Tree Hugger. Just totally chilling. Listen to some sitar music.
Well, the thing is about Toxic is that we would need to know more about, not necessarily the comic book version, but what was Sombra all about?
Yeah.
And because again, it's like what line did he had like one actual spoken line, Crystal Pony Slave, that is mine, and that's all he said. It's like we don't know anything about him, so
And we need a little more information. And
Well, see that, and he's prepared to go to war against Equestria. So,
yeah. If I understand in the hierarchy of what's official, the show is first and foremost, and I assume the movie will be first and foremost. The books that G.M. Barrows had written, everything, those are second canon, and the comics in some cases are like alternate universes or like third canon, but they are not as official as the other.
Yeah.
So when you see anything in the comics, you gotta kind of take it in a grain of salt.
Yep. Horus, again, certainly he was a classic tyrant, Sombra was. He did enslave ponies and mind control them, etc. But again, that's not the same as, the land is stripped of life.
Yeah.
So again, he was a tyrant, but tyrants age, tyrants die. Tyrants can be overthrown as long as there's a populace to do it.
Well, to a certain extent, I think the thing that's important is that all the other ones wanted to rule or control something. If we understand that final scene at the end of season 5, Starlight here had effectively done a nihilistic thing and had created a situation where basically nobody won. I mean, it's like game over.
He dies, she dies, everybody dies.
Game over.
Yeah.
And that, like I say, was the whole thing about her, was she was so committed to what she thought was right that she was willing to basically undo the world to make her point. And now, as I say, it's like,
does the Crystal Castle look like Isengard a bit? I wouldn't be surprised, because Canterlot is very consciously, Lauren Faust has said so, modeled on Minas Tirith.
Yep.
That is exactly what she had in mind as far as the look of, the citadel built out of the side of the mountain.
Now, I do know for a fact, my opinion is that the Crystal Empire, the Crystal Palace, looks like the love child of the Eiffel Tower and Superman's Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah.
Right down to those 4 legs.
Yep. So everybody's died, so tears are died. We'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more. We'll drink and sing and fight until the early
15
morning light.
minutes.
Then we'll
Can
pass
I
out.
finish touching things up and
Can
make
go
this actually
drink
look
and
remotely like a
once
finished piece of artwork? Can he do it?
And of course, the other thing is that the projection in, Hearthwarming Tale, it's a projection of Glimmy, but it was the same sort of, I will change the world, for the better to suit my ideas of better.
I know best.
I know best, and I will impose my view upon the world. Well, Glimmy did that, of course, on small scale in that little,
Village.
the village of Stallingrad, or whatever it is you want to call it, because she's a Trotskyist. Ha 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 ha. Nobody's made that joke except me. It's so obvious. But of course, the Hearthwarming Tale is the same sort of thing, except it was, cranked up a notch with, Eldritch Horror waifu, Luna.
I loved Dementor Luna.
Yes.
I thought that was great. I want to do a color piece of that scene.
Yep.
With Snowfall and Luna going, look what you did. Look what you have wrought upon the world.
Yep. Colin, and that sounds like the flawed logic of the robots of the Mechanist in Fallout 4. Those who refuse to learn from history cannot abuse it in the same way that I do. By the way, enjoying the heat. It was 110 today, right outside our front door, Toxic.
Yeah.
No. No. We broke some all-time records here.
Yep. Okay, so we got that. Let's go to my checklist of things that need to be still done. We need to put some white actually in Glimmy's eyeballs. I'm using the white of the board. Okay, off here on one side, I'm just clearing off, make sure there's no like dark pigments or anything that's going to get in here and make me go and say unfortunate things on the air. since we are technically making this available for all audiences. So let's get some white in there, and a little bit of white on those teeth too.
Yep.
Okay, and let's get up in here and post that. Okay, that's looking good. Let's work on this water. I have some time to work on this water. I got
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, I can make this happen. I can do this. This can totally happen. All right. So what I need is put the lid on because I'm not going to be working with anything there for a moment. And what I want to do.
Oh, Prowler, they've never given that village a specific name.
Nope.
Howard Town, yes, Howard Town. Yeah, Daniel Ingram said that he went and made a detailed study of German martial music, in the pre-war years, the 1933 through 1939 years. And in the course of studying that music, and of course he was studying everything around it, he says he learned a lot of stuff about history that he did not know, and it kind of creeped him out.
Yeah, one of the things I'm kind of looking forward to is when November 1918 rolls around on the Great War, Indian Idell has stated that the series will not stop, and they're going to continue on into the interwar years. He says there's some stuff that really a lot of people just don't know about.
What led to 1933?
Yes,
Yep.
and, well, just all over, all in Greece and Italy. Why Mussolini comes to power. There's just so much stuff that just.
Yeah, it was a very busy time. Well, that was the time of Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah. And of course he's right now. He's World War I more at the moment, but yeah.
But the interwar years.
Yeah, the Chinese Civil War.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that happened in the United States, even things that you just don't hear about in your history classes. Like, ooh, okay, yeah, I'm very interested in this. So that's why I'm backing him now. Finally started backing him on Patreon.
Yep. Let's see, best song of the series. Oh, geez, there's quite a few that are really excellent. I like You'll Play Your Part because it had all three princesses singing. How awesome is that? I liked the Celestia's Ballad because at the time, I had been just, say my Mr. Demandy Pants moment leading up to the end of season 3 was, I want to hear Celestia sing.
Yes.
Love is in Bloom is the catchiest dance song of the series.
I think Smile, Smile, Smile is still my favorite because I think it defines a character so well. Now, I know Catspaw loves Art of the Dress. That's his.
Art of the Dress, and he's also a big fan of Smile, Smile, Smile.
Yes. But I think both him and I can appreciate being freelancers.
Yeah. What's the name of the song from The Perfect Pair?
That one was good.
Yeah. You're in my heart like a catchy.
Tune.
Yeah, it is something. Yeah. The catchy tune song. Yeah. Oh, that's just because Felicia Day is awesome, and of course, Just a Pony.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably the biggest song from point of view of maximum, haul out all the production values and kick you in the gut. But again, they had the Tony Award winner. They had the Lena Hall in 2014 was judged to be the best musical performance, female singer in the world, from theatrical musicals. That's what the Tony Award is, and getting her to perform a song that she on a show that she loved, yeah, she put everything she had into it.
And of course, until the episode aired, she didn't know what her character looked like, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was a big, just for her, it's like, oh my God, that's me. I'm a pony.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Smile Song is really good.
Yeah. It captures, I think, some of the relentless enthusiasm of the series.
Yeah.
That I love so much.
Yeah, from the Equestria Girls movies, that's. I haven't seen Legend of Everfree all the way through, and.
I'd have to say it's either some of the stuff from Rainbow Rocks or Friendship Games. Even if it's for Rainbow Rocks, Dave or Caswell, help me out on this. The one that they did the music video with Sunset.
Yeah.
The Sunset song that they did is kind of the ramp up to Rainbow Rocks. My Day.
My past is not.
Yes.
Does not define me.
Yes.
My past is not today, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, 7 minutes to go.
Let's see.
Okay.
How are we doing on time?
We have
are at
7 minutes.
9:20. You still have 7 minutes?
Yep, I got 7 minutes.
There we go.
So get some things in, get one more set of blends in a few spots to help tidy things up here. This will be a little bit beyond a color study and into something resembling a finished piece of work. What do you know?
Let's see. Of course, we're going to have to see what they do in the upcoming Pony movie. Only
Yeah.
a few days out.
Yeah, I know. Right around my birthday.
Yay!
Yes. I plan to go seeing that. That one's what I'm going to see in the theater. I will sit through the stupid, 35 minutes of trailers and everything like
Yeah.
that to go.
Yep.
Okay, right there, I need that with some penciling. Let's clean that up. Okay, there we go. That's good.
Yeah.
Do one more dip to get that there. Lid on. Okay. See here. Boom, 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 boom. Anything making me feel horrible about this picture? Anything making me feel horrible about this picture?
Remember the Pony Puff Princess from Dexter's Laboratory? Oh boy. Dee Dee means Pinky.
Dexter no dance. Dexter no dance. It was in Dexter's contract.
Yep.
Dexter, Duke of the Dance.
So you do have a birthday coming up, don't you?
Yeah. Another one. Yippee. I'm at the age now where it's like, oh yeah, birthday. Woohoo.
Oh, hush, youngin'. Let's see. Dexter's Lab.
Let's clean that up.
The real Pony Puffs. Okay.
Clean that up. Clean that. Bring
Yeah.
a bit more of the correct green in.
Warplanes from Counter-Strike. Let's see that. Clunk. Apparently in Dexter's Lab, they shortened the race name from Pony Puffs to Puffs to avoid having to say Pony Puff all the time.
Okay.
She got a shiny butt.
Yes, she does. All right, one last thing we have to do here.
Sign it.
Okay.
Indeedy.
In less than 4 hours.
Not considering that you did that with slideshows and breaks and all that stuff. That's probably about 3 hours of actual pencil time.
Yeah, about 3 hours from start to finish. Didn't know at the start of the day what I was going to be doing, except I was going to be doing glim glam. Done.
Do I remember the very first video game I ever got my hands on? If that would probably be for me wizardry.
Whew.
All right, so I'm gonna push this button right here that says main.
Okay.
All right.
So on a day when we broke record temperatures, I think I just set a record for myself for doing a piece.
That's a bit more than a color study. That's less than a fully whoop-de-doo finishing thing. But you know, for 3 hours, like I say, I'll take it.
Indeed.
I'll take it.
So now expect to do that every time.
Like I say, I cut some corners. I streamlined a few things here to make this happen, but it's done. So I guess I'll try to figure out what to do with this thing. If anyone here likes this, contact me on DeviantArt, contact me on Twitter.
See what happens.
See what happens. If I don't get anybody who's a taker, like I say, maybe I'll send it off to the charity auction at EQLA. So there. Yeah, I am actually a bit tired, and I'm looking at my work area. Can you actually pan the camera around and take the cocktail cam and kind of show? This is not a good way to end up with your workspace. When I'm working at home in my my studio, I don't let my area get like this. But I had to work so fast that there was no time to actually manage anything here, so we kind of ended up with stuff just thrown all over the place, and I've got probably about 10 or 15 minutes of cleanup to get this all back before I leave tonight, because I can't leave it like this, and I got to take some of the stuff home with me because I've got a big commission that I'm working on, and some of these colors I was working on are in that commission, so I got to get all sorted back out again.
Iron artist. The true iron artist.
Hydrophobic. Are you new?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing you before. Are you in the? It's right towards the very end, but are you someone new in the chat? Because if you are, welcome.
Yeah. Baron did this.
Yeah.
From blank slate.
From blank slate. Those are on traditional color pencil. That was entirely traditional media. Well, I'm sorry you're coming in towards the very end. We'll be doing this again in 2 weeks. I won't be doing this kind of craziness, but I'll be doing art in 2 weeks' time. And thanks for dropping by. I'm Baron. This guy here, Karen, he's the guy kind of co-hosts my show.
I push buttons.
And actually tonight we have our moderator on the other side because it was 110 here today, so we had to get him out of the heat before he died. Or his equipment died on him. I need to switch back to regular glasses so I can actually read the friggin' monitor. Woo!
God, what a concept.
So
everybody say hi to Cat's Paw.
Hey, Cat's Paw. Cat's Paw hiding again, but yeah, he was there. So I want to take a moment and thank all you guys for tuning in tonight. And I particularly want to thank all my patrons and Patreon. Like I say, if it wasn't for you guys, I couldn't do this. This is my day job, doing art. I don't have any other way of bringing in revenues by doing this. So,
chicken mole, toxic.
Yeah, chicken mole, and something to drink. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Something to drink.
And then we will be back. We'll be doing this all again. Like I say, if you enjoyed this tonight and you're not one of my patrons, consider pledging $1 a month. That's all it takes. It makes a difference. By the way, Box Good, thanks you could drop by. If you can't do that, but you still enjoyed what you saw tonight, if you look down the little bottom thing here,
blue button,
stream tip. Throw a buck or so in there. Every dollar helps.
Buy him a coffee.
Buys me a coffee. So, guys, I want to thank you all. We're going to go try and find someplace maybe hopefully cooler.
All right. That's future Baron, Bravo. It's a couple of weeks.
Yes.
All right. Catch you folks in 2 weeks.
Yeah.